Montonio. And we are underway in all-time meeting 101 in the Battle of I-10. UTEP will start at the 25-yard line as we get things underway today. Gorgeous weather, low 60s here at Aggie Memorial on Thanksgiving weekend. It is football weather today. Impact players for the Miners, Odom and Chapman. And for New Mexico State, Seth McGowan was so good a week ago on offense. And Tyler Martinez, Danny, he's been steady Eddie at the linebacker spot all year.
Well, I spoke with Coach Morrison. He said if there's one guy that's really matured through the season and he really likes his play, it's Tyler Martinez.
One of the questions for UTEP today was, would Skylar Locklear start at quarterback? Suffered an injury a week ago against Tennessee. He is in there today. Transfer from Austin Peay. UTEP, just like New Mexico State on offense this year, they played a lot of quarterbacks. Wow. Miners have to use a timeout. Scotty Walden, he's the first-year head coach for the Miners. That is never a good sign to start a game.
It's not, and he came onto the field, so I don't know if there was a communication error or something with the play being called into the quarterback, or something happened. It was a miscue, and he certainly does not want to start in the hole, so he stepped out there and said, let's burn one. Not the best time to burn one, as you said, but they did.
Scotty Walden, the 35-year-old head coach in his first year in El Paso. He also calls the plays for UTEP. There's a look at Scotty Walden. High energy throughout the entire year. That's one of the most notable things you notice when you watch the UTEP Miners is that sideline is energized, and a little bit of a blunder to start. Had to burn a timeout before any time was taken off the clock. Running back for the Miners, Javon Jackson, also a transfer from Austin Peay, where Scotty Walden used to be the head coach. A lot of Austin Peay transfers. And Jackson goes nowhere on the first down carry. Tyler Martinez, one of the guys in there, Danny, he has been outstanding all year. That's his 91st tackle, tops our New Mexico State.
Yeah, he picked up 10 tackles last week. He leads the team in tackles. He just went right down there, saw the hole, and stepped downfield to make the tackle.
Play action fake, Locklear looking downfield, double coverage, great ball, almost caught. Intended for Kenny Odom, the top target for Locklear. Leads the Miners in catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns, but double coverage in the Aggies secondary.
Yeah, that was good coverage, but it almost looked for a second there like he was going to outrun the defense. It looked like both defenders kind of slowed up just a little bit, and that was a great ball. He threw it way downfield, lots of air under that thing too. Almost got a completion out of it.
Locklear's had a pretty good year. First year with the Miners, 9 touchdown passes, 6 picks. He's also run for a couple of scores this year. Not a big quarterback at 5'11". Looks right, throws right, caught by the tight end, and that is incomplete. A big hit. Taden Barnes, the nickelback, was the man who laid the lumber on the tight end. 255-pound Marcus Vincent, so some good aggressive player in defense, and the Miners with a 3-and-out on offense to start, and they had to use a timeout in the process.
So we're sitting back in zone. He throws it underneath, hoping he could turn it upfield to get to that first down, but the defense closed so fast there. We saw Barnes and Martinez both on that, and there was just nowhere to go.
Barnes has been one of the bright spots this year for New Mexico State. Second year in the program, but his first year seeing a lot of action. And he's had some really good moments this year. Aggies almost got to that punt. And not a fair catch. That was caught, and then a couple loss of yards on the play for TJ Pride. So he did not call for a fair catch. Loses a couple, and there is a flag down on the play. Referee today is Garrett Dickerson. Both programs have done a pretty good job recently of not being penalized very much. UTEP had some penalty issues to start the year, but only 3.5 penalties for them in their previous 6 games.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block during the kick. Receiving team, number 19, 15 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Well, that one hurts to start with, right?
You know, it hurts too because TJ Pride lost a couple of yards, never called a fair catch, and then the penalty brings you back 15 more yards, so you're going to start at the 16 instead of the 31. And if Pride calls for a fair catch and there's no penalty, you're starting right around the 35. So not an ideal start for The Aggie quarterback, Parker Awad, who makes his second straight start, coming off by far his best game all year, Danny.
Yeah, for sure. He was balanced. He was able to throw the ball with consistency last week. Nothing big downfield, a lot of intermediate stuff, but he was very consistent, and that's what you're looking for in a quarterback.
Season high 237 passing yards for the Aggie offense a week ago. This pass complete to the senior on senior day. Cordell David past the 25, up near the 30. David gets 11. He also wears number 11. Good enough for a first down.
You know, Parker, he's looking so comfortable back there that he just sits back. Lots of time to sit in the pocket. He sets his feet. David gets cleared. Little hook pattern in there, and he delivers the ball. I like how Parker just kind of has progressed through the year, and now he's feeling very comfortable, it seems like.
It's nothing fancy. Right now he's making all those easy throws that New Mexico State missed on a lot this year. Shuffle toss to the running back. Cutting up field is Seth McGowan, who a week ago in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, had 179 all-purpose yards. Get the ball to McGowan and get it to him a bunch today, Danny, if you want to win this football game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think as we talked after the Middle Tennessee game, when we spoke on the phone, you said, yeah, get it to, just all you have to do is get the ball to McGowan and let him go. You're right. Great game last week. He was one tackle away from breaking that wide open. Coker grabbed him, or he would have got that corner and went a long way.
Johnson, McMillan, and David, the Aggie wide receivers. They hand it off to McGowan. They're pulling on his jersey as he plows past the 45-yard line, near midfield again for the junior from Mesquite, who's been consistent all year.
You know, when I've talked to the coaches this week, we're going to line up quick, get a little tempo. I kind of like it.
14-yard gain, poor snap, juggled by Awa. Now he's going to run, and he is pulled down by K.D. Johnson, the senior for UTEP.
Hey, it's a good thing he got that ball, because if he doesn't catch that, that's a hot snap coming back there. That's going back another 15, 20 yards. He reaches up there and grabs it, is able to hold on to it and just fall down. Great idea, little tempo, got him on their heels, but it just didn't work out.
That'll go as a sack, a loss of 4 on the play. 3.5 sacks this year now for Johnson, the transfer from Kilgore JUCO. A lot of Kilgore JUCO transfers on this UTEP roster this year. So it's 2nd and 14. First drive for the Aggie offense after a 3-and-out for the UTEP offense. High snap by Yarrow. Home run ball, far sideline, and it's incomplete. Maybe a stride too early there for Cordell David, who beat his man, and Awad maybe overthrew him by a hair.
Yeah, I think that's just a little bit too far, but he did put some air under it. That's a great ball, though, right? So if you miss that, you want to miss it deep, wide, out of bounds, everything but short. If you leave that short, that's going to be a pick. He's back there. Great ball.
Those were the numbers at Middle Tennessee last week for Parker Awad. He threw for 221. Also ran the ball a little bit. Very efficient, 12 for 16. Making his second straight start today. His 6th start of the year. Pressure, fumbled. The ball is scooped up by the UTEP Miners. Near sideline, and they're going to run it in. Bryton Thompson, the defensive end, a transfer from Blinn JUCO, with a scoop and the score for the Miner defense.
You know, that's a great job by UTEP being aware of what's going on there. We're waiting for an end to come out open in the field there, and as he's sitting, you just get pressure from the backside. Parker didn't even see him coming. There's no way. He got belted, put the ball on the carpet, scoop, and just couldn't get him. That's a tough one right there.
The Miners lead Conference USA, and they rank in the top 35 in the FBS in both sacks and tackles for loss. This is what they do on defense. They get after the quarterback, and they get after the quarterback a lot. They did so twice during that drive. A great start for New Mexico State. It stalls on the scoop and score for Thompson, the redshirt senior, playing his final game collegiately. 7-0 Miners in the Battle of I-10. Midfield before the big hit by Westmoreland. Parker Awad never saw him coming. And it's a scoop and score early on, 3 minutes in for the Miners. So now this offense, which was moving the ball effectively, Danny, has to find a way to bounce back here.
Yeah, and I can't believe that they didn't try to find or locate Westmoreland. There must have been a blown coverage on the line of scrimmage in terms of trying to pick people up and calling out who's coming from where and what they see, because it seems like he really just came in just about unabated and just rocked them and didn't have a chance. Parker didn't even see it coming, put the ball on the carpet.
UTEP with 28 sacks coming in. They had 3 a week ago against Tennessee. Leading Conference USA in sacks and also tackles for loss. That is their 16th takeaway this year. 10 of them have been interceptions this year. A-Watt still the quarterback. The give is to Mike Washington, the transfer from Buffalo, with his first carry today. Up near the 30. Gain of 5 yards for Washington. Scotty Walden, the head coach for the Miners, earlier this week at his weekly press conference said New Mexico State has the best running back room in Conference USA. I think a lot of Aggie fans would agree with that statement.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think they run hard. They run angry.
And right now, both running backs are in. Smith in motion. They fake the handoff to McGowan. Awad's going to angle near side. Awad on the keeper past the 40. Parker Awad, who can use his legs, runs for the Aggie first down.
I like the decision by Parker Awad on that. When he comes out there, he's still looking to throw the ball. So as you see him coming with the play action, he's going to the right. See him have the ball right there. He was ready to still throw the ball until they decided, you know what, I'm going to go back and cover the guys, and they left him open. And when they did that, that's when he said, I'll just take the ball and go around the corner there and pick up some extra yardage.
And Naki Fahina, who's a defensive lineman, was in that package on offense. Aggies are using him as kind of a pseudo fullback, if you will. Fahina's on the bench now as the Aggies hand it off to Washington again. He almost stuffs out of a tackle, maybe gets an extra yard. 44.5-yard line, a pickup of 3.5 for Washington. He goes off, McGowan comes in.
Yeah, you know, that's tough. You know, sometimes when you play a team and you have a strong runner that goes out, it's like, oh, thank goodness, finally. And then you get someone else that comes in like a McGowan or a Washington. There's just no drop-off at all. They both run very hard, and they run right over you. So you have to be careful in what you try to do and how you address them and tackling them.
Tight end Jerry Lydiot lined up as a wide receiver near side. He's blocking near side for P.J. Johnson. Good block by Lydiot, getting P.J. free up near the 50. They'll mark him at the 49.5-yard line. A half dozen picked up by P.J. on a good block by Lydiot.
Hey, just a quick throw the ball out there, get the block at the point of attack, and let P.J. get some extra yardage. We haven't seen enough of that where you have confidence to get the ball out there and the receivers make something happen, little yards after catch. That really helps.
By the way, that Aggie turnover earlier was their first turnover in 3 games. Did not have one in the previous 2. Did not have one at Texas A&M 2 games ago. Pushing the pile is Washington. Good enough for a first down. Check that, McGowan. That's Seth McGowan on the rush. And that will move the chains again. Seth goes for 4 on that carry.
Yeah, sometimes you get behind on a quick score and you want to just make it up in a hurry. Instead, you get away from your game plan. So I think as long as New Mexico State stays with their game plan, they can still be moving the ball and making progress. They need to do that.
Really good rhythm right now in offense. Keeping fresh bodies in as well. Running in a lot of tight ends. In motion, McMillan. They give left side, McGowan. He cuts up field, far hash. Another good run on first down for Seth. He goes for 4 again. He's averaging well over 5 yards per rush. And he's approaching 800 yards for the year coming in. He is at 804 right now. 804 for McGowan. So really good numbers. He won't get to 1,000 likely, but should finish just shy of 1,000 for the year. Nice bounce back year for the Mesquite native, who's back next year. He's only a junior. Running back McGowan, quarterback Awad, wheel route for Seth, and he overthrew him. Might have had him. McGowan good in the passing game as well. Tavita Tafuna, the defensive tackle, had to cover McGowan on the wheel route, Danny.
Yeah, I think he had him if he could have just held on just a little bit longer. The problem is that they outmanned us on the front line there, and there's pressure in his face, and he had to deliver the ball before he wanted to and get rid of it, so had to throw a little deeper.
Aggies will scrimmage from the 42 on a 3rd and 6. Probably not in Montaño's field goal range right now. Tony Sanchez has to use a timeout.
Timeout. New Mexico State. This will be a full timeout.
And I say probably not, because we have seen Montaño kick a 57-yarder. As it stands right now, it would be a 59-yard try, so
Correction.
probably not in
timeout.
his range, but you never know. Here on 3rd and 6 as New Mexico State looks to match UTEP trailing 7-0.
Yeah, I think Coach is a good timeout to take right there to say, let's get a good play in there. So pick up the 6 yards and keep that drive going so we can collect points one way or the other on there.
Well, teams have used the timeouts so far. UTEP had to use theirs before their first play from scrimmage. Both head coaches in their first year as the head coaches of their respective programs. Scotty Walden's from Texas. Tony Sanchez is the head coach now of his alma mater. Tony knows this rivalry as well as anybody, and if you talk to him about this rivalry, he recalls moments, games from the days when he played in this rivalry in the mid-90s. Big 3rd and 6 from the 42. A-Wad rolling right, and he had him in, and he overthrew him. Donovan Fapel was open, and then a flag flies in the secondary. Kind of a late flag after Fapel was overthrown. So hold on for now. Instead of it being 4th and 6, let's see if New Mexico State catches a break.
There is no foul for pass interference on the play. 4th down.
So they pick up the flag.
Well, he had him. He was open. It was a good route. You have some motion and everyone going one way, and you have Fapel out there and just couldn't pull the trigger enough to get it down there. Just had a little too much juice on that ball.
They're going to send out Montaño. This will be a 59-yard field goal. If he makes it, it's a new school record. UTEP has a man back deep in the end zone in case it's way short. Season long for Montaño, 57. That tied a school record. Does it have the leg? It is good.
Oh.
School record 59-yarder for the senior art senior day.
Hey-o. And then he gets rolled, and his team comes over here into the sidelines there, and what a job. Great snap, nice hold. Got to block, got to get those blocks down in front. Great kick, gets his leg into it. And there you got it.
We were unsure if Tony Sanchez would try it. The wind really isn't a factor. Low 60s, and Abraham Montaño breaks the school record. Aggies get some points midway through quarter. Adam Young, Danny Nee back with you. Danny mentioned it right after the kick during the celebration. Abraham Montaño was kind of rolled up. He was limping off the field, Danny, and right now he's getting looked at. So Carson Zilmer is going to kick off, and hopefully Montaño's okay. But right after he made the kick on the celebration, he was limping off.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's your own team that in case of fratricide, where they're just coming in to celebrate and your own guys hurt you. And so that's too bad if that's the case. But a school record 59-yarder, maybe he can take one kick off and still come back.
That could be. Right now he's getting looked at. Carson Zilmer will kick off, the Mesa native. That could be a huge factor the rest of the way today, because Montaño is a major weapon, as you could see right there. The ball was at the 42, and he makes a 59-yarder to break the school record. He tied the school record earlier this year, and now he breaks it in his final collegiate game. Montaño, a left-footed kicker, Zilmer, a right-footed kicker, and Zilmer does his job. A touchback through the end zone. So for the first time in a while, we're going to see the UTEP offense. They struggled, Danny, on their first drive. The Aggie defense was sharp, what seems like forever ago.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how each game starts and gets its own personality. In this case, you end up with a scoop and score, and all of a sudden you struggle to get down there. You get on the board with 3, but you haven't really even seen their offense do much yet because they haven't had a chance.
Kind of a thin running back room right now for UTEP. The bulk of the carries are coming from Javon Jackson, the redshirt junior from Alabama, a transfer from Austin Peay. Jackson alongside his former Austin Peay teammate, Skylar Locklear, who misses badly on the far side of the field. Ashton Nickelberry, another Austin Peay transfer, the intended receiver.
Yeah, they're just we was way off there. That wasn't even close, so it doesn't even look like it was in the rhythm there of completing that pass.
No points a week ago at Tennessee for this Miners offense. Jackson on the carry. He gets to the second level. Upended by Dylan Early, the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week. Had a pick 6 last week at Middle Tennessee. Third down coming up. Miners 0 for 1 on third down. This is only their second drive of the day on offense. The points came on the scoop and score. Locklear steps up, looking right, throws, caught, Nickelberry. First down for the Miners as he pinballs off Keontae Glinton and maybe crawls for an extra yard. Catch number 5 this year for Nickelberry, who's starting to come on here down the stretch.
Yeah, when Aggie's in a zone and you see him sitting back in a zone and they find that little area that they're open right there. You see him in the middle of the screen right there and just pops the ball to him.
Locklear on first down. Misses again. Far sideline looking for Nickelberry once again. Cam Thomas is in there, and that's big for the Miners because Thomas hadn't played since October 22nd at La Tech, and before that he was having a big year. So good to see Thomas back in there for the Miners here on the season finale. Here is Thomas. He couldn't haul it in, almost picked off. DeCarrick Hobbs was right behind Thomas trying to get it on the deflection.
I think Hobbs was ready for that. As soon as the ball was released, he closed in a hurry on there. There was not much he was going to be able to do with that. You can see it, 1-2, get the ball out as fast as you can. Hobbs comes down quick, closes that gap, delivers a blow.
Thomas has 43 catches for the year. He hasn't played in over a month. He's another transfer from Austin Peay. Scotty Walden brought a lot of guys with him from the FCS to the FBS. Locklear on third down. Buda Paletti trying to get to him. It's incomplete again, deflected again. It was Thomas on a high throw. So 2 straight throws to Thomas, a little bit too high for the 5'7" wide receiver.
Yeah, but there was a few in there that, Adam, I think that Locklear, he completed, he got the ball to the area and they're able to get both hands on there. Some of those maybe should have been caught though and pulled down. Good for the Aggies, are able to close that and disturb him and not allow him to catch those.
Aggies almost blocked the first punt today from Adam Jacqueline. TJ Pride back deep. Here's the punt by Jacqueline. This one easier to get away. Pride telling his teammates to get out of the way. Special teams has been a problem for the Miners this year. It has not been a problem for New Mexico State. Abraham Montaño nailed a 59-yarder to break the school record earlier on Senior Day. A lot of seniors were honored pregame, including Montaño. Aggie football trailing, set back to sophomore, transfer from Golden West JUCO. Home run ball downfield, single coverage, great ball caught. P.J. Johnson couldn't stay on his feet. What a dart by Parker.
Adam, did you think he was going to get to it? I know we were looking at it, and we saw him sprinting down the sidelines. He aired that ball out. Parker, great delivery, great protection, and PJ just seemed like he was running and running. It's like, I don't know if he can get there, and he did. Couldn't stay on his feet, but what a great catch, and what a great throw by Parker as well.
Aggies a yard away from the red zone, all the way down to the 21. 54-yard explosion to P.J. Johnson, who has wheels and can fly. A-Wad rolling left, throwing it right, wide open. Seth McGowan, touchdown Aggies. 2 plays, that's how you do it. McGowan catches a touchdown for a second straight game, his 3rd touchdown catch this year.
We talked about how balanced and how relaxed and how Parker has had some great games. And along with that, you got to have guys like Seth McGowan. You see McGowan coming out of the backfield. He's on a wheel route. They're looking left. Everyone's looking left, except Seth snuck out right on a wheel route, and he hit him standing in the end zone wide open.
Point after is good. And that was Carson Zilmer, who continues to handle the kicking duties. 2 plays, that's all it took. 54-yard launch by Awad to P.J. Johnson. And then a 21-yard touchdown catch for Seth McGowan, who has been one of the very best running backs, both in the running game and in the catching game this year in Conference USA.
Yeah, I think the more that Seth comes out of the backfield catching the ball, you have to be able to watch him running, but you also have to kind of spy him, because if he does sneak out of the backfield, you see him in the backfield there, sneaking out to the right. Now look where Parker's looking left. It's like, look, everyone, I'm going to throw it left, but Seth sneaks out right. He turns at the last second and releases the ball. Great throw, great catch. You know, one of the hardest throws to make, Adam, is sometimes when the guy's wide open, it's like he's right there, and it makes it really hard sometimes, but that was a great touch he put on that ball.
Zillmer will kick off to the Miners. No return here. You know, Danny, I think back to the Lorenzo McMillan 84-yard touchdown run against New Mexico early in the year on that jet sweep. That was a quick score. This is probably second to that. That's about as quick as the Aggies have gone this year in offense.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that long run and then this one here was just 2 passes and away we go.
Let's see if the Miner offense can figure things out. Skylar Locklear is 1 for 7. Miners do have a second quarterback who's played a lot. J.P. Pickles, the freshman, who they could go to at some point. Locklear the better passer, Pickles the better runner. And now Locklear is going to run, and he is drugged down by Keontae Glinton, who's playing his final game collegiately today.
Yeah, playing your senior year or your senior game, it's always fun because you're in there and you're flying around. You know it's the last time you're going to don the jerseys, and you just make as much as you can from it, and that was a great job by Clinton right there.
Hand off to Jackson, pounds it up the middle. Tyler Martinez, the man to meet him. A couple yards shy of a first down, so 3rd and short coming up for UTEP. Right now for the Miners in the running game, it's pretty much only Javon Jackson. We were told we may see Ezel Jolly, may not. Joshua Dye had 5 carries a week ago, but only 6 all year. Miners have been better in the passing game overall this year. Below 170 on the ground in 3 straight games. 3rd and short. Locklear fakes the handoff. He keeps it and he runs for the first down. Taken down from behind by nickelback Amarillo native Taden Barnes.
Yeah, I think in that case you have the defensive push and you just push past the line, past the quarterback who was able to take that underneath there.
Play action fake to Jackson. Locklear throwing it downfield. Receiver was bumped, and that's going to be pass interference. Kenny Odom, the intended receiver. The penalty is going to be on Keontae Glinton.
That's one of those, you know, I didn't mean to. I was just trying to play the ball, and he just gets tangled up in there.
Pass interference. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. An automatic first down.
It seemed like that ball was going to be uncatchable for Odom. It was probably going to be too far for him, but Glinton is whistled for pass interference to help out the Miners offense as they creep into Aggie territory, trailing 10-7. New Mexico State has scored 10 unanswered after the scoop and score for the Miners defense. Under 5 left in quarter 1. Miners got the ball first. The Aggies deferred for half 2. Fake again to Jackson. Tons of time for Locklear. Double coverage, and it is incomplete. Was looking for Odom again. There's been double coverage a lot. Glinton and Early, a couple of seniors out there.
Well, it's a good guy to double coverage too, right? Since he's a guy that's the number 1 receiver for him. He's in between 2 guys. This ball was a perfect ball that was thrown in there. He really got behind the defenders, and he just couldn't pull it in. That was a good ball.
Kenny Odom has had a fantastic year. He has 4 catches, 50-plus yards for the year, which is best in Conference USA. Almost had a 47-yard touchdown catch on that play. Minor scrimmage from the 47, 2nd down and 10. Hand off right side, Jackson trying to find the corner. Runs over an Aggie. That was Glinton again. Helmet came off for Buda Paletti, so he has to go off on 3rd down for the Miners. Gain of 4 for Jackson.
You know, both teams are coming out here and airing the ball out. It really makes it interesting because if you're the defense, you have to start honoring that. It's like, okay, they're going to run. We know that they're going to run. Oh, but wait a minute. They can throw the deep ball. Both teams are showing they can throw the deep ball, and they're not afraid to as well.
Justin Beadles comes in for Buda Paletti. Miners 2 for 4 on third down. Tight end Vincent in motion. Locklear looking right. Underneath, caught. Vincent trying to get an extra yard or two. He's going to be short. 4th and a yard for the Miners after Vincent only gets 5 yards.
I think they don't even blink. They leave everyone out there and call in the next play, and it's like, we're going. I think it's going to be both sides are going to pull all stops out for this game, and we're going to, you'll see trick plays, I believe. You'll see a lot of things out of this because it's an important game for both sides. They're both pretty evenly matched, too, in terms of offense and defensive. So this should be a hard-fought game the whole way through.
Miners 8 for 24 on 4th down this year. Paletti's back in. Locklear's going to throw on 4th and 1, and it's incomplete. He missed another man. Kenny Odom was wide open, Danny, on the far sideline. I think Locklear rushed the throw. A little unconventional throwing on 4th and 1.
He was there. He had him, too. And I think if I was Coach Morris, I'd say, look, you know it's going to come, and it's 4th down. You think you're just going to line up and try to go nose and nose and toe-to-toe and pick up those 2? No, you should play everything. In that case, we weren't really playing. We're flat-footed, and they got past him. I think they missed it. Coach sees it. It was a good call. It just couldn't execute it. For the Aggies, you have to be looking for that all day long. You cannot be sleeping on the backside.
Aggies take over on their own 38. 10 unanswered. McGowan in motion. Give left side Washington. Gets around the edge. Quality run for Mike Washington. He could have been dropped for maybe only a yard or 2, but he shows off his wheels and is able to speed around the edge. Nice first down carry of 8 yards for Mike. It's a two-headed monster in that backfield, Washington and McGowan. Monte Watkins has been out for a while, but it's still Washington and McGowan healthy and running well. Washington lowers the pass. Washington runs over a Miner near sideline near the 30. Bulldozing his way downfield.
Oh, that's incredible right there. We saw Seth out there trying to help him out, get some blocks. The wheels, sometimes we don't think Washington's as fast. I want to see the wheels right there. Number 38 just couldn't get to him. He outran that tackler, and with that, he picked up 10 extra yards.
He gets 22 officially. He ran over number 22, Josiah Allen, right here, the cornerback. Some more aggressive running today from McGowan in Washington. Tight end Lydiot in motion. Awad rolling right and throws it away, out of play. Trying to make good decisions here today. Parker Awad had good decisions made a week ago in the win against Middle Tennessee. All 3 Aggie wins this year. It's been in games started by Parker Awad.
Yeah, Parker came out. He was kind of locked in on one guy. I saw that Cordell David, who was in just a little bit closer to the hash mark, was wide open, but he didn't see him enough time, and he felt the pressure and like, I'm just going to get away, throw the ball out.
McMillan in motion. McGowan's open, caught by McGowan, has some running room. He has tripped up inside the 20. First down, the Aggies back in the red zone, down to the 15, gain of 16 for McGowan.
Very tough. I like the way that Seth is progressing, where it's just not off the line of scrimmage, but he's coming out of the backfield. You see it right here, a little play action. He saw he was wide open. Defender wasn't there with him, and it just get the ball out to him as soon as you can. Let him pick up those extra yards.
Those were throws the Aggie quarterback room struggled to make for a good chunk of the year. Awad's been efficient, though, the previous 2 games. Lydia at the tight end, left side of the formation. Awad throwing right, and it's incomplete. Through the fingertips of Cordell David, who is looking for his first touchdown catch of the year.
Well, that one is a good one that he should have had right there. He had hit him in the hands, ran a little slant route. He had to get the ball up over some of the defenders that were underneath here, and you'll see the ball come right in there. Was the guy on him a little bit early? Maybe, but still, it's hitting your hands. You need to pull that one in. That was a good throw.
Coverage there from Josiah Allen. David had 4 touchdown catches 2 years ago. Awatt hands it off, stopping and starting Washington, spinning inside the 10, trying to drag some Miners, and he does so. Forward progress at the 9-yard line. 6 picked up on second down. 3rd and 4 upcoming for the Aggies.
You know, I like the running backs in terms of what they're seeing as well. So they're not just ducking their head and trying to run over everyone. In this case, Washington, he sees that the design was more of a kind of a stretch to the right. There was nothing there, nowhere for him to go, and he took it to the outside to the left and pick up extra yards there. Great running by Washington.
New quarterback on 3rd and 4. Brandon Nunez, his first action today. Empty backfield for Nunez, who can run with the football. He puts Washington in motion, gives it to Mike, right side. Washington cuts up field, and he is in. Washington darts in the end zone. New Mexico State has scored 16 unanswered.
How good of a job was that of running for Washington? You'll see that he comes out there. It's a quick give. These running backs are doing great gun stuff. Give him the ball, let him go. You see 2 people right there. They had leverage to the outside. There was nothing he could do there. He would pick up positive yards, but he was not going to get in the end zone. But he cuts left, and the minute he does, he sees the end zone and cannot be denied.
Good to see Abraham Montaño back on the field as he is going to kick this extra point. And it's good. Pretty good right there. Kicks it up the hill. Youngsters will chase after it. You know, kudos to Tony Sanchez, Andrew Mitchell, and that offensive staff for that personnel grouping as well, Danny, because Nunez came in, so UTEP thinks Nunez might pull this and run. That might have given Washington some more breathing room.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You have to take pause because Nunez can run the ball. He's a big hoss. He's at 6'5", 225. So you got to check him, make sure he's not going to run it or sneak a tight end out like we saw last week, right? We saw Cooper come in there the game and snuck in a play, and so you have to check that. And when you do, it leaves open the run. It's like give the ball to the running backs. There was great blocking out front as well. I want to comment on the running on the receiver side, picking up their blocks, which were important. All of that starts with that fourth down that they did not complete, right?
Yeah.
So you get almost points off turnovers because you're going to turn the ball over on 4 downs.
Zilmer will continue to kick off, so it looks like Montaño will just handle field goals and extra points. Zilmer's done a good job. This one is another touchback. And when you look at this first quarter overall, Danny, yeah, UTEP has 7 points, but it came our defense. Their offense right now is really struggling, and now they're playing from behind, which could change the game plan a little bit.
It does. It really does. So now you got to start making up some points. It's still manageable. It's only 17-7, but yes, there was just no rhythm, and there were some passes that should have been caught, I think, and they weren't. So, and then some that he missed that 4th down. I think that was a pass that he should have completed that Aggies were flat-footed on, but he did not.
Final minute of the opening quarter. Aggies have scored 17 unanswered. Locklear fakes the handoff. He's going to run himself. So he's using his legs a little bit. He runs for a 1st down. You'll see J.P. Pickles, the backup quarterback, use his legs more, but here Locklear scampers for 12.
You know, when we talked to the coaches, he said, well, you know, Locklear, he's more of a thrower. He's got a great arm. He can run the ball, but not as much as JP. We got to watch the throwing when he's in there. In that case, this last play, he pulled the ball on that fake. That was a great fake. It froze everyone, and he got 10 yards.
Ezel Jolly, the running back, he only has 2 carries in the month of November for the Miners. He'll stick it in his belly. He is belted right away by Cale Edwards. Tyler Martinez sticking his helmet in there as well with 20 seconds left in the opening quarter. Not much rhythm right now in offense for UTEP. They've struggled in the passing game, and they've struggled in the running game today as well. Back to Jolly. Finds a hole near side. Taken down at the 40.5-yard line. Fourth and 1 for UTEP. They're stuffed. It's going to depend on the spot.
That's going to be. You're right. That's just going to be on the mark right there. At first, it looks like there was enough room for him to pick up the 1st down, but that hole, if there was a hole, it closed in a hurry, and they stuffed him. It's going to really depend on the market right here. Let's take another look at this right here. It opened real quickly. Someone standing in the hole right there, tackling downfield. That was Sone, I believe. He came in there and shut it down and gave him no more extra yards. That's a great tackle right there.
They're going to measure this, it looks like. Miners went Wildcat. That was the running back, Javon Jackson, who took the snap, so no quarterback was in. Locklear went off. Jackson took the direct snap in the Wildcat. And did the Aggies make a 4th down stop on defense for a second time in half one? Let's see here. They are way short. Tony Sanchez with a big fist pump.
Look at him. He is fired up down there. So from a linebacker's perspective, here's what they teach you. You tackle downhill. That means wherever you are, you see a hole, you feel the hole. Sone on that one, he saw the hole. It opened up. There was a big hole there. And if he waited for the running back to get to him, they would have had the first down easily. But what he did is he closed it so fast and came downhill, tackling downhill, got no extra yardage, and that was the reason right there on that great tackling effort right there by Sone.
Scotty Walden has gambled twice on 4th down. The rivalry probably makes you do that a little more than usual. So UTEP 0 for 2 now on 4th down. They are 8 for 26 on 4th down this year.
It's just a great job tackling right there. That's just fantastic.
Parker Awad, the quarterback. Nowhere to go for Seth McGowan, but he's still hard to take down. Maybe gets a half yard. This is a really talented big defensive line for UTEP that does a pretty good job against the run. And McGowan goes nowhere on the 1st down carry. Need to keep the foot on the gas here. If you're New Mexico State, you have scored 17 unanswered, and you get the ball to start half 2. Screen pass far side, caught by TJ Pride, the star freshman. And 3rd down is coming up early on here in quarter 2.
Yeah, TJ's had a great year. I think, did he catch that one-handed? It almost looks like he just put one paw up there and pulled that thing down. Get the ball out quickly, get him into outfield, get him out to the ball, let him pick up some yards after catch. Yeah.
One-handed snap.
Nice.
3rd down and 7. Jordan Smith will come in at wide receiver. New Mexico State 2 for 4 on 3rd down. Miners 2 for 6 and 0 for 2 on 4th down. So the Aggies winning that battle right now. A motion McGowan back into the backfield. Awad will throw left, caught by McGowan, cuts upfield, and Seth will spin for the 1st down. Yards after the catch to the 35. Needed 7, got 8. Chains will move early on in quarter 2.
I think Parker saw that they were coming. They were bringing everyone. He knew he was going to have to release it in a hurry. He brought Seth over from the right to the left and just dumped the ball quickly to him.
Awad, short drop. Throw left, caught. TJ Pride makes a man miss inside the 10, inside the end zone. Touchdown, TJ Pride. All Aggies, 23 unanswered.
Yeah, I'm not sure where this offense has been all year long, Adam. It seems like it's so easy when you can just throw the ball. You have enough time back there, right? So first of all, they're giving Parker lots of time back there. Look how much time he has. Great time. Relaxed. Good route. He throws the ball, one move, and take it to the house.
Second touchdown catch of the year for the freshman from Midlothian in Texas. His other one came against Louisiana Tech in a home win earlier this year. Point after through for Montaño. It was once 7-0 Miners on a defensive scoop and score. Since then, New Mexico State has scored 24 unanswered. And the offense is humming here in the season finale. They looked good a week ago. They look even better today. 24-7 Aggies here in the Battle of I-10. Some real momentum into the offseason. You talked about the portal earlier in talking to Tony Sanchez. You can have some momentum into recruiting the next couple of weeks if you get this win here today.
Yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely. He's had a year that he's really starting to plan his recruitment. When he signed to take this job, didn't have enough time to get out there and hustle up the players he needs. He feels like he's going to this next year, though.
35-yard touchdown catch for the freshman TJ Pride. That drive, 3 plays, 46 yards. So there's been 2 very short offensive drives today, as you see the numbers right there on the screen. There was another touchdown drive earlier to play 75 yards. So Tony Sanchez's offense, they're scoring in a hurry right now on offense. Big explosion chunk plays, which we haven't seen consistently this year.
So now here's the big thing, is that you have not played from a lead. So let's see how they do going into this and whether they kind of coast or they keep their foot on the pedal.
Skylar Locklear, the quarterback for the Miners, has struggled today connecting with his wide receivers. He is still in the game, and he gives it to Jackson. The running game unable to get rolling right now for UTEP. Jackson up to the 29. He gains 4 on first down. Tackle made by Malaki Taase, a freshman who's back next year. He's from Mesa. He's played a lot of snaps during his true freshman year.
He's gotten better as the year goes on as well. He's got 30 tackles on the year. He's done well. He's contributed, and that's what you need. You need a lot of guys contributing on that defensive line.
Locklear throws, and it's hauled in far side of the field by Goodman. Senior from Atlanta, one of those Austin Peay transfers who had 12 grabs 2 games ago in a win against Kennesaw.
And we talked about tackling as being one of the keys. That's the one right there where you get to the guy, to the player, to the spot, and you can't make the play. You need to make that play. You can't put your head down and go swinging by hoping you can just knock him down.
Fresh set of downs for the Miners. Paletti almost got to the quarterback. Rainbow throw intended for Goodman. Covered by Josiah Charles, the sophomore from Arlington. Danny, the defensive play for New Mexico State, which has been much improved in the month of November, that goes back to 2 games ago. You were there at Texas A&M when there were some really good stretches for Joe Morris's defense against A&M, and then last week their most complete performance.
I totally agree. I thought they played pretty well against Texas A&M. They stood their ground. And they were, holding their own for as much as you can against Texas A&M in front of 105,000. They did quite well. Last week, fantastic. It's those big plays on the back end that Coach Morris is really worried about.
Second down for the Miners, just shy of midfield. Incomplete, broken up. Coverage from Crosby, the senior, intended for the tight end Vincent, the junior. Miners 2 for 6 on 3rd down, 0 for 2 on 4th down. The offense for the Miners has not scored today. The points have come from the defense. 3rd and 10 for Locklear. 5'11", redshirt sophomore quarterback from Clayton, North Carolina. Spent 2 years in Clarksville, Tennessee with Austin Peay. Gets away from the pressure. Runs and gets enough for the first down. He was upended by Crosby. Locklear has been better with his legs than his arms so far today.
I think that's a keep all day long. They see the defense. They see that no one is there to watch him. They pick up one guy. They chip Tyler Martinez, and he was wide open, easily picking up that first down. We talked about his throwing ability, but we've seen him do it with his legs for sure.
11-yard scamper for Locklear, who has struggled with a deep ball today. And that one was a good throw, but it is incomplete. Kenny Odom was there. A good ball by Locklear, and a flag near the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 98. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, an automatic first down.
There's been a couple of 15-yard penalties for the Aggies today. This is on Malaki Taase, who we were just praising moments ago.
Yeah, I didn't quite see where the hands were, but their official standing right there with the hands up in there. I also think they got behind us on defense. I know that we're back there thinking, we'll see more of a running, but they got behind us multiple times.
That was a catchable ball again for Kenny Odom, who's been sure-handed all year. Pass is whistled far side for Goodman. Goodman dragging an Aggie inside the 10. First and goal for UTEP, and this one is far from over. A lot of football left to be played.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think we're trying to get to Skylar in the backfield. We just can't get to him, and he's getting the ball out there. In that case, it was a good throw and a good catch.
And off to Jackson, carving his way up the middle, running left hash. It's down to the 3-yard line. Picks up 4. And now it's 2nd and goal. Miners go with tempo. Jackson, the tailback again. They go right back to him, and Jackson will stampede into the end zone. Touchdown for the Miners. Javon Jackson runs it in. His 3rd touchdown run of the year, and a player is down and injured right now for UTEP, right around that 3-yard line. So the best offensive drive of the day for the Miners by far right there. They went with tempo, and they had good rhythm.
Yeah, in this case, they're just going to run the ball up the middle there. Look at the hole. There's a big hole up there. That offensive line did a great job creating that hole. That's a good drive for UTEP all the way around. They threw the ball well. They ran the ball well. Finished it with that nice run right there. Yeah, the game isn't over, as you said, Adam. We're still in this thing, so I hope the Aggies don't start thinking, oh, we got this one. You have to fight all the way through.
Training staff is out for UTEP, so is first-year head coach Scotty Walden. With an offensive lineman injured just outside the end zone. Finally able to get a number there. That is number 74, right tackle Azizi Henry. Redshirt junior out of Wiley in Texas. 9 plays, 60 yards during that drive for UTEP. And that'll end a stretch of 24 unanswered for New Mexico State. Typically when these teams meet, it's a game of runs. And UTEP struck first on a scoop and score. The Aggies went on a nice run. Now the Miners trying to cut into it before the halftime break. Can the Aggie offense continue to do what they've done so far? That's a big question. I mean, the offense has looked as good as it's looked all year, but this right now is only in 19 minutes of game action. There's still 10 plus left in quarter 2, and the Aggies will have the football up 10 when we come back. 4.5-1. And that is after a fumble on the first drive of the game for the Aggie offense. A scoop and score for the UTEP defense leading to points. But outside of that, all positives, and they will start at the 25. And this goes back to a week ago for Parker Awad, Danny, his 2nd straight start, and he looked good last week. He's looked good again today. What has changed here in November for Parker?
I think it's a maturity thing. I think it's one of those where, when I was talking to coaches about it, it's like, well, what's going on? And they said, as the year goes on, you get more and more people that have the experience from Division I football, that things are moving faster. And so now with more experience comes, you start to understand it and feel it and say, okay, I understand now what I need to do with the ball and how to handle it. And it just started snapping, and it worked for him, and I'm glad Coach pulled the trigger and started him last week.
Running back, Mike Washington. Tight end is Adam Parks in motion. And the handoff goes left side to Washington, and he darts up to the 30. We talked about this 2 years ago in Diego Pavia's first year at the quarterback spot. It was a little bit up and down. Diego was the starter, then he wasn't the starter, then he was the starter at the end of the year. And the last couple of games 2 years ago, they were by far Diego's best. So sometimes, especially for young JUCO quarterbacks, it just takes some time. Kind of a similar path this year for Parker Awad. And then, of course, Diego Pavia made the huge jump in year 2 a year ago. Heavy pressure shown by the Miners. Johnson chasing Awad, who cuts upfield doing his best Diego Pavia impression. Slides into UTEP territory. Now there is a flag, and it could be in the area of a hold for the Aggie offensive line.
Well, that's too bad, because that was really a dynamic run for Parker. He was coming, you can see he's darting back and forth.
Offense, number 66, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
That's our Louis Canepa, redshirt sophomore from Napa, California. Nice little run, though, there for Parker Awad.
They thought he was going to run out of bounds, and he took it back against the grain and picked up some extra yards there. Last week there was 3 penalties that New Mexico State had against Middle Tennessee. This year, this game we already have 4. And those were timely. Those hurt.
Pushes you back 10 yards. Second down and 15. But Mike Washington gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then some. Up near the 30. Another good hard run of 8 yards for Mike.
Man, those guys run so hard. And when I was talking to Coach Sanchez, I was talking about the running backs and how hard they work and what they're like away from the game. So what are they like during practice or during films? And he said they are the best guys off the field as on the field. He couldn't praise them high enough. This is they are team players through and through.
Now, normally this would be a passing situation, but on 3rd and 7, who knows? Awad will throw, looking left, still looking. Now he has to run, and he can't get a block. He waited too long. Seth McGowan was trying to block very late. Awad could have tossed it for Seth. Now, who knows how many yards he would have been able to get. But New Mexico State will have to punt for the first time today.
Yeah, that makes it tough right there. That's the first time, and part of that is this penalty, the holding penalty that brought him back there. So he's getting pressure from the backside. He doesn't see it. I think he's trying to coach someone in to get to an open spot where he can hit him. It's a good thing he held on to the ball.
Awad loses 6 yards. First action today for senior George Eberly, the punter. Punts it away. And a flag comes in on the near side of the field. It was fair caught by Cam Thomas, who's playing for the first time in over a month. And we'll check on the flag with our referee, Garrett Dickerson.
Prior to the kick, personal foul, face mask, receiving team number 11. The penalty's 15 yards from the previous spot, an automatic first down.
Holy cow, Danny, that is going to put the Aggie offense back on the field. That is a gift.
I was wondering why Coach Sanchez was running down the sidelines, and he was telling everyone, get back out there, get back out there. And I didn't quite understand the penalty and when they were going to take the enforced penalty, and gives us the first down.
All right, Danny, it's at the bottom of the screen here.
Yeah, I see where he grabbed him.
That is a major miscue on UTEP.
That's their first penalty of the day, and that's a costly one. That's a tough one.
That will be tough to swallow for first-year head coach, 35-year-old Scotty Walden. Your defense gets some momentum finally. I mean, you're getting the ball back in pretty good field position, potentially making it a one-score game, and instead your defense has to go back out there against an offense that has had a really good day. So a mulligan, if you will, for this Aggie offense. Awad on a quarterback keeper. That's kind of a half slide, a half tumble by Parker at the 40. That's where he started it. He only gets 3 yards. I think he wanted to slide, but he really didn't.
It was a half and half. Well, but the thing is I like Coach Mitchell seeing that, they're not picking him up. So in this case, he just took the ball and said, just take it, get around the side there, go get 3 or 4 or 5 yards right there and make it a better second down. And that's what Coach Mitchell's really trying to do. Better first, second downs, puts him in a third and manageable is what he's really trying to get to.
244 total yards for the Aggie offense here in the first half. Washington in motion left side. Awad hit as he pumped, and he was drilled by the freshman, Kyron Duhan, who is one of the candidates for Conference USA Freshman of the Year. The freshman from Houston picks up his 6th sack of the year, his 4th in the previous 3 games.
Yeah, so the worst is getting pressure up the middle because that forces the quarterback to either get rid of the ball or get out of the pocket. In this case, it seems like Parker didn't even see him coming, but he came untouched right straight up the gut, and nothing you can do about it.
4 sacks today for UTEP. Handoff to McGowan. McGowan with the first down run. Lost the football. It's still loose. There's a fight for it on the turf. If it's Aggie football, it's a first down.
There's a penalty, though.
There's also a penalty near the 30. Aggies do recover the football on 3rd and 14. McGowan ran for a first down, but we'll check on the flag.
Holding, offense, number 51, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains 3rd down.
That's on A.J. Vaipulu, and right now this Aggie offensive line, which is challenged by this defensive line for UTEP, trying to do a little too much.
And you see the hold right there. They called the hold right in the middle of the screen there. Wow, that was a great run. Able to fall on it as well, get the ball back. Puts in a 3rd and a really long.
Yep. 3rd and 24. Now, McGowan just ran for a first down pre-flag on 3rd and 14. Let's see if the Aggies keep it on the ground here. Awad will swing it out for McGowan. McGowan on the catch and run. And the Aggies will punt again. And I'm sure Scotty Walden is telling the special teams crew, don't do anything stupid here after the Aggie offense was able to go back to the field on the previous punt.
Well, those penalties, you have 5 penalties already. That's tough right there. And there's another one right there.
More flags come in.
I think this is getting a little chippy is what these flags are all about. There was a little discussion with a couple players taking issue with getting blocked too hard. And
after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 6. That's the player's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. The penalty is 15 yards from the end of the run and an automatic first down.
Danny,
Wow.
This is on Corey Chapman, who's a senior out of Hoover, Alabama, and he's the one who commits the penalty.
Sometimes
it just
your
can't happen. I know it's chippy.
Yeah.
I know it's a rivalry, but this is 2 times now for UTEP where the defense was off the field and how the defense has to go back on the field.
Yeah, that's where your emotions just get the best of you sometimes.
P.J. Johnson in motion. Can the Aggies take advantage? Awad slips. Nobody touched him. Lost his footing. And now the Aggie offense kind of losing their footing here midway and late in the second quarter. It hasn't looked the same the last couple of minutes.
It hasn't, and I think in that case he was gonna fake the counter, the sweep, and he was gonna take it around the left side, but there wasn't much there. They're waiting for him anyway.
A loss of 1 for Awad, the quarterback. Hand off right side, McGowan. He has nowhere to go. No gain for Seth. UTEP has given you additional chances if you're New Mexico State in this drive, which has included a couple of key penalties for UTEP, just continues to stall.
Yeah, when you get 0 yards on the first down and the second yard, you don't get very many more. It makes it a 3rd and long, very difficult.
For a while there, though, the Aggies were scoring quick. A lot of clock has been taken off here in this second quarter before those 2 penalties. This has been a little lengthy. Empty backfield for Awad. Stepping up, pass deflected at the line. I think K.D. Johnson got his hand on it. And this UTEP defense is hoping they can go off and not have to come back out for a while now. They've been pulling double duty, it seems like. Yep, it was Johnson, number 7 right there, who got his paw on it.
Yeah, it's a big guy right up the middle, so the thought is if you can't get to the backfield, watch the quarterback, get in the passing lane, and get your arms up. In that case, that's what he did.
George Eberle, the punter. Cam Thomas is the return man for UTEP. And Thomas will handle at the 9-yard line. Thomas up the middle, and he is twisted down. The ball came loose, but right to a minor. That was Goodman, a wide receiver who plays on special teams for UTEP, who had the ball trickle right to him after the fumble. And now both teams are getting a little loose with the football as well here, Danny.
Yeah, I think he didn't even have that tucked in all the way and got it popped out. They're lucky they got the ball back. It's been an interesting second quarter, right? The first quarter went off, not too much action. Then all of a sudden you had penalties everywhere. Everyone's getting a 4th down, getting a redo. It's been a kind of an interesting second quarter, and UTEP's in the game still.
Yeah, if you can make this a 1-possession game if you're the Miners going into the locker room, especially since you don't get the ball to start half 2, you'll feel pretty good. And you trailed at 1 point 24-7. And the officials, I think, have done a pretty good job of trying to make sure this game does not get untracked as far as penalties and extracurriculars. They've tried to grab hold of this, Danny, earlier than later, so this one doesn't get away from them.
Yeah, you know, when we talked earlier, you were asking about, well, some of the games that you've had with UTEP and others, and let me just say, it's been heated. Every single one of them has been heated. And it's just tough because you have someone that's so close in the proximity. You get a good crowd in here. We got a great crowd today, and it just your intensity just gets up, and your emotions can get away from you, which makes it very hard. And I do think the officials are trying to keep it under control, and it's like, let's get back to the game here.
Miner offense coming off their best drive of the day. 121 total yards for UTEP today, 57 through the air. But Skylar Locklear is only 5 for 15. And then on the ground, 64 rushing yards today for UTEP. 30 apiece for Locklear and Javon Jackson. 4:24 left here in the second quarter. Things were going almost perfect for Tony Sanchez's squad for 19 minutes of game action. Since then, the Miners have cut into the deficit, despite the crucial penalties that New Mexico State did not take advantage of. Tony Sanchez played for New Mexico State in this rivalry in 1994 and 1995. Got his coaching start as a student assistant here, so he's been a part of this rivalry as a player, student assistant, wide receivers coach, and now as the head coach of the program he once played in. And this is a big weekend for recruiting for both programs. UTEP has a lot of players on campus this weekend for them when they get done with this game today. New Mexico State has a ton of recruits here today into tomorrow. And the portal opens here soon as well. So this result could go a long way because these two programs typically kind of go head-to-head in recruiting a lot. Empty backfield here for Skylar Locklear. Pump fakes, throws, caught by Goodman. And the pump fake might have helped the Aggie defense get to Goodman quicker. Hobbs as well as Alpiu right there to grab him.
Yeah, just a quick toss outside there. There's lots of Aggies standing in there, and so they didn't let anything where you bump into each other and fall down and the receiver goes down the field.
Second down for UTEP. Stepping up Locklear. He's already run for 30 yards before this one. He will sidestep out of bounds in front of the cornerback to Carrick Hobbs. 14-yard run for Locklear, who's run for 44 today.
Yeah, so I think Coach Morse is going to have to start putting a spy on him because this is the second or third time that he's broke, not really containment, but he's broke outside, and there was no one there tracking him. And he's a runner, and he ran the ball easy, 10 yards.
Javon Jackson, the running back. Locklear will give to him. Paletti might have been held. Flag came in. Jackson trying to hurdle an Aggie, but a flag came in. I think Buda Paletti was held on the far side of the field.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he lost containment. You'll see it right there to your right of your screen, number 8 there, Paletti. He feels like he got held in that, and lots of cheering on the sideline there. He's trying to hurdle him. Didn't quite get over top.
Holding. Offense, number 82. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
Penalty is on Vincent, the tight end. A young man out of Duncanville, Texas. One of many Kilgore JUCO transfers for UTEP. Vincent has been used a lot in the passing game this year as a receiver for the Miners. Doesn't just block. They throw it to him a lot. Second down and 15 for UTEP. I think even a field goal here, Danny, for UTEP could go a long way. Right now the Miners trail by 10. As Locklear fakes the handoff, runs himself, and this time has nowhere to go. Dylan Early came up, Hobbs and Paletti both there.
Yeah, Paletti saw it happening immediately and tried to get upfield there and try to avoid a block to shut that down before he gets the corner there.
UTEP has struggled on a third down today. 3 for 7. Locklear under pressure. He throws, and it's caught and then speared. Caught by Kenny Odom. tackle made by Keontae Linton, a loss of 1, and now third down coming up.
Lots of pressure on Skylar back there. You see the pressure coming from the backside right there. That's Paletti that's tracking him. He tries to get the ball out. Makes a great catch. Yeah, but Keontae's right there.
3rd and 14 for the Miners. And we will hit the 2-minute timeout. So we will wait for 3rd and 14. 2-minute timeout. Aggies have scored 7 points in the quarter. 7 points here in quarter 2 for the Miners as well. Aggie defense trying to make a stop when you come back. Adam Young back with you late in half 1 here in the Battle of I-10. 2-possession Aggie leader right now. 3rd and 14 for UTEP. They need the Aggie 49-yard line. Locklear trying to run away from Justin Beatles, and he throws it into his sideline.
I like it, Adam. He lines up. He's got 4 or 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. It's like, are we going to bail and get into coverage? Or are we going to go get you? He chose to go get him, applying pressure, which made him throw the ball out of bounds. Good 3rd down stop.
Locklear now 7 for 18 through the air. A couple games ago, he was 28 for 33 against Kennesaw State in a Miners win. UTEP only has 2 wins this year, both in Conference USA. Aggies looking for their 4th. Miners will punt with Adam Jacqueline. Punt is away. Jordan Smith is now the man back deep. Near side, it is TJ Pride. So the Aggies had 2 return men back there, Smith and Pride. Smith kind of peeled out of the way, trying to fool the Miners, I think. I saw Tony Sanchez talking to special teams coach Nelson Fishback during the timeout, probably thinking ahead. They had 2 guys back there, Danny.
Yeah, that's a great idea, right? So you put 2 guys back there. One guy fakes like he's going to get the ball. He starts running the other way. And as you're chasing and you're a guy from the UTEP, you're looking up trying to see, well, who's got the ball? You see someone running to the left. You think, well, he's got it. Maybe he got him an extra few yards.
144 to work with. Aggies up 10. Parker Awad has had a pretty good day so far. 8 out of 14 passing for 155. 2 touchdowns, no picks. 1 fumble, though. He throws, and the pass is deflected again. And that's happened twice now in a recent stretch where that defensive line for UTEP is getting their hand on the football on the passes by Awad.
Yeah, that's too bad because I think that was a little mesh route where you're crossing over the right in the middle of the defense there, and he was open. He just barely got a finger on that one.
Second down and 10. Running back Washington. They'll toss it to him near side. Has a blocker. Uses the block upfield. Blocked by Jerry Lydiot, who's doing his job today. Nice carry there for Washington up to the 40. 5-yard pickup. And now it's 3rd down and mid.
You know what's tough on that last play, Adam? Everyone knows it's coming, right? So he pitches the ball. Defense and everyone knows. Look at this formation. It's a great formation, a 4-by-1, empty backfield.
Aggies 3 for 7 on 3rd down. Heavy front side pressure. Awad gets rid of it. Washington the catch, and he pinballs up to midfield. Awad had to get rid of that quick, and he did.
He did, because there's no one else back there, right? So you have 4-by-1. You have all the receivers, everybody out. Empty backfield, coming in on the backside. Lots of pressure. Have to get rid of the ball fast, and everyone pick up a hat on hat, and in you go.
10-yard catch and run for Washington. Man open on the sideline, P.J. Johnson. And Awad couldn't connect. Johnson had the 54-yard catch on the sideline earlier. He was open, but Awad couldn't find him.
Yeah, that's a tough one. They're sitting back there waiting for this too as well. So they know that he's going to try to get some points. He's going to get some yardage so we can get some points. And now he's trying to get the ball downfield.
1:21 left. We're a little bit unsure of the health of Abraham Montano, who nailed a 59-yarder but was injured on the kick earlier. Did kick a couple of extra points. Awad hit as he throws, has a man, and he threw it too long for TJ Pride, who wanted a flag on the play.
Little cat and mouse right now, right? So coach decides that Mitchell's going to put 4 guys to the right, 1 to the left. No one in the backfield to protect. Got to get rid of the ball, and when that happens, it's like we're blitzing, we're coming to get you, and you don't have time to have a pattern, and you have to just get the ball up and deep and hope that your guy can run under the ball.
3rd and 10 at midfield. You don't want to give the UTEP offense any time either. This is a big 3rd down. Aggies are trying to continue this drive at midfield. Awad throws an interception. Chapman running into Aggie territory. He lost the football. Did New Mexico State pick it up? They did.
Wow.
Chapman fumbled it on the interception. The Aggies have the football. This is a game of runs right now.
Let's start with the first with the pick. We're sitting back there. Safety is sitting there looking at Parker the whole time. He sees this happening. He steps in there, gets the ball, good return, and then puts it on the carpet. I think Parker's going to have to start really watching himself in terms of trying to really pick who he's going to throw to and lock in. In that case, he was locked in the whole time. The safety saw it, everybody saw it, and as soon as he released the ball, he was jumping that route, and he jumped it, got a big pick right there, and was looking for some return yards to help set up his offense, and ended up putting the ball back on the carpet. Very fortunate for New Mexico State.
Chapman still shaken up. That was his 2nd interception this year. He had a pick 6 against Kennesaw State 2 games ago. And he probably thought he had a chance of returning that one for a pick 6. He had a big penalty earlier.
Please reset the play clock to 40 seconds for the defensive injury. Thank you. Game clock will start on my ready for
frustrated right
play
now
signal.
because he has to head off, and also frustrated too that he fumbled that football. It's a great job stepping up by Chapman, and now he's going to have to head off and get looked at.
Correction.
And
Please
New
reset the
Mexico
play clock to
State
25
just
seconds.
continues to get breaks,
Thank
but
you.
they're not taking advantage of these breaks, Danny, here in this
Please
second
reset
quarter.
the game clock to 1 minute and 6 seconds.
The
1 minute and
offense,
6
as
seconds.
good as they looked in the first 19 minutes, they've really struggled since then.
Yeah, I think
Please
he's
reset
really
the game
locked
clock
in on
to
some of
1
his
minute and 6
receivers, and they're
seconds.
seeing that.
Thank
They're
you.
sitting back in a deeper zone waiting to see what he's going to do with the ball and then jump it.
Running back right now is Tim Gans. No carries today for Gans, the Missouri City, Texas native, and he runs on 1st down. Gans gets into UTEP territory up to the 49. Gain of 6.
I like the use of Gans because he comes in there very different than Washington and McGowan. He's kind of a swift back.
Awad will throw on 2nd down, gets rid of it, throws it to Tony Sanchez. Gans was the intended receiver, so now it's 3rd down and 4. And this pressure by UTEP, that's a big reason why this Aggie offense has all of a sudden started to struggle.
I think they've determined if they can put pressure on Parker and don't let him sit back there and have all the time to throw the ball, that they can affect him one way or the other. And they're doing a good job at that.
UTEP has 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss today. Gans the motion man. Motions back in the backfield with Awad. Hand off to Gans. Gans runs for a 1st down. Past the 45 to the 43. So that'll move the chains. Clock will stop for a moment as the chains move. And now a timeout is called, it looks like.
New Mexico State. That's their second
Timeout, New
timeout
Mexico
out.
State, and
30-second
we go
timeout.
back to what I mentioned earlier. We're just unsure what the leg is like right now for Abraham Antonio, right, Dan?
Yep. And I see they put the ball on the carpet again, and we see the run right there, a little scat back running in there. I like the hit him with the big hard punch. You got Washington and McGowan, very tough, hard running guys, but you know they have the ball. But when you can try to hand the ball off and kind of sneak someone around in there, that little scat back, that's why he got those extra yards, because no one's looking for them. There's like, no, Washington's not in, McGowan's not in, so we hand the ball off and pick up that 1st down. Certainly you're going to have to get more yards than last time. Even if he is okay, maybe he's a little bit sore. I'm not sure he can get you another 59-yarder.
Yeah, in case you're just joining us, Abraham Antonio kicked a school record 59-yarder in Q1. He was injured on the celebration. He has returned to kick extra points, but hasn't attempted a field goal since and has not handled kickoffs since either. Shuffle toss to Washington. He lost the football at the 40. But a fortunate Aggie bounce as it bounces out of bounds. So now ball security hasn't been very good either in the last couple of minutes, Danny.
Yeah, and in a few games ago, if you remember, Washington put the ball on the carpet, had a fumble on a key time here, so certainly we need to take care of that football.
Normally we would say the Aggies are hovering right around Montaño field goal range, but this one might be a little too deep right now with the way his leg is. Awad fakes the toss, throws, and nobody around. Closest receiver to him was tight end Adam Parks, but that was thrown 15 yards beyond Parks.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that play was all about there, because if Parks was supposed to be in the pattern, he was off by a long shot, and he still delivered the ball where he thought he was going to be, but it just didn't look like they were on the same page at all. But you were able to throw the ball away and able to not take a sack, so that's important as you come into this third down.
Line again is the UTEP 32. Aggies will hand it off on a third down. So a little bit unconventional. UTEP has 2 timeouts left. And now a timeout is called. And there is a player injured for the Miners. That's Nate Diamond, the linebacker. So we're about to see how Tony Sanchez handles this. I would assume a punt is coming up.
That's what I would think as well. In the last call, it was a safe call. It wasn't let's throw the ball downfield, something bad happens. Let's make sure we protect the lead going into the half, so get something safe.
You had a chance there to really put UTEP in a tough position, up 10. Even if you just get a field goal, you're up 13 with the ball to start half 2. And now UTEP feels like they have some new life. We'll see if they get anything offensively to finish off the half with 13 seconds left. Maybe not. But you really were in a good spot, and now you're likely only going to be up 10 at the halftime break. Here's a look at the all-time series. This is meeting 101 here in the Battle of I-10. Aggies won 28-7 a year ago, but a year ago, Danny, in the Sun Bowl, it was 7-7 at the break. And then New Mexico State outscored UTEP in half 2, 21-0.
I think Diego had a little magic in that game and really kind of pulled them back into this and into that game and allowed us to walk out with a win.
It looks like this was an injury timeout, so UTEP able to hang on to both timeouts.
Has chosen to take a 10-second subtraction for the defensive injury. Please reset the game clock to 3 seconds. Thank you. The game clock will start on the ready for play signal.
So now Tony Sanchez will call a timeout. They reset the game clock to 3.
New Mexico State has called a timeout. That's their final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
And now New Mexico State can try a field goal here. Right, with 3 seconds left. Ball is at the 40. It's still an extremely deep one. But we're going to see how good the leg feels for Abraham Montaño. Now he has been kicking the extra points, but they stuck with Carson Zilmer on the kickoffs to save the leg possibly for Montaño. This will be from 58 yards. He made from 59 earlier. I can confidently say nobody in program history has ever made field goals of 59 and 58 in the same game. And Scotty Walden will ice him as he calls the timeout.
Well, his leg must be feeling well.
UTEP.
If coach says, yeah,
That's
let's give it a
their
shot.
second
You got
timeout
3
of the
seconds left.
30-second
Give
timeout.
everything you got.
Because if he can't do it, then Carson Zilmer would at least attempt it.
Right.
Now, not many collegiate kickers have a leg as good as Montaño's that can go from 58 yards. He had some breathing room with a 59-yarder earlier, didn't he, Danny?
Yeah. He did have a little bit. That's interesting. It seems like football today is all about deep field goals. Lots of long kicks. in both college and pros.
George Eberle, the punter, will hold from the far hash. Montaño from 58. School record before today was 57. Montaño's kick is wide right, so a little bit short. Well, you have to attempt it, right? The clock's going to expire anyway, so give it a go. And New Mexico State will take a 24-14 lead in the Battle of I-10 into the locker room. Halftime show comes your way next from Aggie Memorial.
That helped the Aggies, still only 10 points. With all of that offense that we just looked at from the stats, you would think it'd be bigger numbers, but it's really anyone's ball game this second half.
New Mexico State had some chances to build on this 10-point lead. They could not do so. At one point, they led by 17. They had scored 24 unanswered before the 3-yard touchdown run for Jackson cut the UTEP deficit down to 10. High energy, always on the sidelines. It doesn't matter the score, it doesn't matter the situation. They're jumping up and down there on the UTEP sideline with first-year head coach Scotty Walden. Miners 2-9, Aggies 3-8. Both programs 2-5 in Conference USA. Both programs really wanting this win for bragging rights, for the silver spade, the brass spittoon, also for recruiting and to build some momentum into the offseason as well. No return for Lorenzo McMillan. Aggie offense will start at the 25. Parker Awad 1 for his previous 7 after going 8 for 14 to start the day. We didn't see a ton of Seth McGowan in that second quarter in the running game. Mainly it was Mike Washington and Tim Gans down the stretch. We'll see if the Aggies go back to both McGowan and Washington in the running game. It's going to be Washington to start. Great to have you with us alongside Danny Nee, Adam Young with you as we get underway here in the third quarter. Let's see if this Aggie offense can get back on track. 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss for this UTEP defense. Handoff, Washington shimmies through a hole, and he goes up to the 29.5. He picks up 4.5. He navigates well. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry today.
Yeah, he's a big hoss too, so that looked like there was nothing happening there, and he still managed to get 4 out of that.
Aggies going back to their bread and butter all year, which has been the running game. Right back to Washington, dives forward. Nowhere to go, maybe gets a half yard. He's at the 30. So it's 3rd and 5 for this Aggie offense. Player slow to get up for UTEP as the Aggies bring in some subs. Jordan Smith comes in. Cooper Sheehan, who's been used as a tight end a little bit, caught a touchdown pass a week ago. He goes off. 3 receivers bunched up to the left, and now Pride in motion left to right. Aggies need the 35. Awad throws, caught. Jordan Smith, the senior, pinballs across the 45. Nice throw there by Parker Awad, and Smith collects his first catch of the day.
So if you look at that pass versus the one where he had the pick, that one he had a pick, he was like locked in on a guy. This time he looked the field around, and people were able to have to sit back and stay with their guy, and he found someone across the middle.
17-yard pickup for Smith, only his 6th catch during his senior year.
I'm frankly surprised he tried to thread that thing in that last one. It was a tough one with lots of defenders around.
Aggies will throw on first down. Pocket collapsing on Awad, so he will heave it away out of bounds. That pass rush for UTEP, it is awfully, awfully good with Wes Moreland, who has a couple of sacks. Thompson, Tonga Weha, Johnson, just a couple. Kyron Duhan as well. He had a sack earlier.
You know, part of it is if you can't guard, if you can't defend in the secondary, not saying that they can't, but we've been managing some big passes. The other way to affect it is you go get the quarterback, don't let him sit back there, and that's been their strategy.
Aggies will scrimmage from their own 47. Washington, the tailback. Heavy pressure front side. Pass is caught. Cordell David inside the 40 into UTEP territory. And once again, Parker had to sling it quickly. 2 Miners running in his face on the front side. He got rid of it. And David with some yards after the catch for 17.
I think it's all about yards after the catch, like you just said. It's just a quick toss to the outside defenders there, but it's like you have to go get the extra yards to make that pass worthwhile, and he did.
62nd career catch for Cordell. Team captain, making his 38th career start. He dropped a pass in the end zone earlier that could have been a touchdown. From the 36 on 1st and 10. Pocket collapses again, and Awad overthrows Smith.
Looks like Smith just got tangled up and he couldn't get out there. He had to get rid of the ball and he couldn't sit on it anymore. It's covered 0 out there, everyone, man on man, and the rest of the guys, you go get the quarterback. So we had more defenders coming in. The Aggies could actually block up front, and he had to get rid of the ball quickly.
The Aggie offensive line has their hands full today. Kanan Yarrow leading the way, the center, playing in his final game at New Mexico State. Making his 38th career start today. He's snapping the football here for Awad. McMillan in motion, handoff up the middle to Washington, and he just pushes forward past the 30 to the 28. That's an 8-yard pickup. 3rd and 2.
Same type of play. You're just going to go in there and have a little play action. Get the ball to Washington. Get your big back over your best blockers up front. Look at the blocking that's taking place there. And picks up lots of extra yards. And he's a big guy to bring down.
2 tight ends in the game now. Jerry Lydiot, number 86 in black, and Adam Parks, number 84 in black. Play clock winding below 10. 3rd and 2. Pistol look, pistol back Washington. They fake it to him. They're going to throw on 3rd and 2 to the end zone for the tight end Lydiot. And Lydiot wasn't open, and the Aggies now have 4th and 2.
I thought I saw Cordell out there on a little post pattern. He was open in there, so I think he was designating that he was going to throw the ball to him and to the tight ends, and so he didn't get the ball to Cordell, who was open.
And now we're going to see once again how the lake feels for Abraham Montano. Judging by the reaction by Tony Sanchez on the sidelines, it was a misread there for Parker Awad. Kick is away, and the kick is no good. I don't think Montano is 100% right now. He misses from 45 yards, and New Mexico State gives some more life here to UTEP.
Yeah, that's tough to come out of the halftime, get the ball down there in field goal position to pick up some extra points, and could not do it. So defense is really going to have to stand up now and stand tall.
You know, Danny, I thought maybe the Aggies on 3rd and 2 would run the ball, and if they don't get it on 3rd and 2, run it again on 4th down. Just run it twice to get those 2 yards.
Right. Totally agree with you.
Trying to catch UTEP off guard on the pass on 3rd and 2. It leads to the missed field goal by Montano. UTEP once trailed 24-7. They can make it a 1-possession game on this drive early on here in the 3rd quarter. Nowhere to go for Javon Jackson. And right away there by Matt Lawson. 7th year collegiately for Lawson. He turns 25 years old in December. And he's been pretty consistent all year for this Aggie defense, Danny.
He's a good one up front in there, right? He plugs those big holes whenever they come out there. He just like sits in that gap, and he'll have to choose another gap because he's a big guy at 6 foot 280.
Locklear back to throw on 2nd down. Pocket collapsing underneath, incomplete. Juggled and then dropped by Cam Thomas. Aggies have another guy next year who will be in his 7th year collegiately. Naki Fahina still has a year left, Danny, so he's back next year.
You know, and I was talking to Coach Mitchell and some of the other ones and Coach Morris, and they were saying, yeah, hey, don't remember, Naki's coming back. It's like, wow, how does that happen? Here's a little crossing pattern right here. He was open, and this is another one where it hit his hands. He maybe should have caught it, but lots of pressure from the linebackers that are staying with the receiver on that.
3rd and 10 for the Miners. Play action fake, and Aggie tumbles. That was Martinez trying to get to the quarterback. Locklear connects. 1st and goal. Martinez was crawling towards Locklear, and a big gainer for Cam Thomas, who's playing for the first time in over a month.
These are the passes that Coach Moore said we got to figure out a way to stop these big plays like this. In this case, the offensive receiver gets behind a defender, and he just bombs it down.
Jackson will reach for the pylon. He's in. Touchdown UTEP, the second rushing score for Javon Jackson. It comes right after the 65-yard bomb from Locklear to Cam Thomas.
Well, that's a killer right there, right? So finish it off, you get it up there, you get a nice hole, and all you got to do is pick up a couple extra in there, and you get 7 or 6. They're going to go for the extra point here. But that all starts with that 65-yard pass. That was an absolute bomb.
Buzz Flabiano punches it through. It's a 3-point game. New Mexico State led at 1 point by 17. And now UTEP has scored 14 unanswered. The Aggie offense needs a response. Third quarter action here in the Battle of I-10. The kickoff for the Miners. Over the head of McMillan. And at some point, this Aggie offense has to find their groove. It was so good in the first quarter plus, and then they struggled in the second quarter for the most part. Struggled a bit early on here in the third, and now trying to find that big play groove they had early on in the game.
Yeah, I think from that beginning, Adam, to where we are now, I think part of it is that UTEP has said, hey, look, no more are we going to sit back and just let Parker have all the time he wants back there. We're going to go get him. And I think the minute they started doing that, lots of blitzing, lots of situations where they're bringing it, stunting people up front, they've really made him uncomfortable a little bit, and he's missed some of those passes.
We haven't seen much of Seth McGowan since the first quarter. He is still on the sideline. Running back is Mike Washington, who's had the best day of any running back. He has tripped up, ran into a Miner, and lost his footing. He gets maybe 2 yards. McGowan's on the sideline, helmet off, but on the sideline. And I'm not sure if he's banged up or what the deal is with Seth. Looks like he's walking a little bit gingerly there in the sideline as he's walking up the sideline. So maybe not feeling 100% right now. We did see a lot of Tim Gans in the final couple minutes of the first half. Gans, the running back right now. Awad will pull it. Awad runs for the first down, it looks like. Let's see where they mark it. Yep, first down run for Parker Awad as he runs for 9 yards.
You know, at the beginning of the year, when they said, hey, we're going to go with Parker Awad, which we thought, okay, this is good because you have to have a quarterback that can both throw and run. And I think that's Coach Sanchez has said that early on. And even when I spoke with him before the game, it's like, well, listen, when we go into this, the rest of this year, yes, next year, we need a quarterback. You need to be able to both run and throw the ball. And certainly he was showing his wheels there, saying, hey, I could be the guy next year as well.
Gans, the running back again. Jet sweep handoff to P.J. Johnson. Bounces to the outside. Got a nice block. And P.J. just shy of the 45-yard line. He has some blazing speed, breakaway speed, if you will, for P.J.
He did. I think he was thinking, I'm going to cut back, and he just had so much momentum. He just couldn't put that foot down and cut back against the grain. There was an opening in there.
7-yard run for Johnson. The Aggies use a lot of wide receivers in that jet sweep. Lorenzo McMillan, T.J. Pride, P.J. Johnson, among others. Pistol back Washington. Second down and short. Back in the belly of Mike Washington. Pinballs off a defender and pinballs forward for the first down. Shy of midfield as the flag comes in, and the helmet came off for Shiaz Pete, the Aggie left tackle. New Mexico State was penalized 5 times in half one. UTEP 3 times, but they were costly for the Miners.
I think usually what happens when you have an offensive guy and his offensive lineman and his helmet flies off, it usually means the defender has his hands in there somehow and gets pulled up underneath.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 0, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, an automatic first down.
Yeah, which is
Number
exactly what
71 for New
happened.
Mexico State, and they stay in the game.
It's the only mistake that Maurice Westmoreland has made today. Westmoreland playing in his final game collegiately. He had 2 first-half sacks. He's a great player, one of the best defensive ends in Conference USA.
I think Westmoreland had a handful of face masks. He got underneath it and then pulled it and threw it and said, yeah, okay, if you're going to get me here, throw the helmet.
Westmoreland was first-team all-conference in Conference USA a year ago. He's a really, really fine player. Another costly penalty for the Miners of 15 yards. Awad, 1st and 10. Awad has a man, and it is incomplete. A lot of contact there on the outside. Maybe the pass was a little too soft, allowing the Miners to get there in the secondary. Intended receiver was P.J. Johnson, and it was Xavier Smith, the safety in coverage.
Safety coming over to help out from the middle of the field as well, and I think that's the guy that really tripped up PJ. Lots of time back there, sets up, throws the ball, he breaks open. You see the last minute punch at the ball, player knocking the ball free. Otherwise, that's a touchdown.
Aggies will scrimmage from the 37 on 2nd and 10. Awad going deep again, and this one is incomplete again. Once again, he had a man. That was his tight end, Jerry Lydia, who was angling towards the 5-yard line, and he missed him by a hair.
I think that's one he should have had right there. That was a good throw. They were crossing downfield a little bit. I think he came open. He had lots of time to sit back there, release the ball, and I think one should have been caught on that last one. That was a good ball right there.
And now Tony Sanchez will make the quarterback swap. Brandon Nunez comes in, played briefly in half one. Normally Nunez comes in red zone situations, not situations like this. Handoff on the sweep to Tim Gans. And Gans will run past the 35-yard line down to the 34. He gains 3. Let's see what the Aggies do here. Montaño not 100%. This would be a 51-yarder. He did not look great on the 45-yarder a little bit ago. I think they're going to go for it. But they're going to bring in a new quarterback. Parker Awad will come in for Nunez. So they change out personnel. Play clock winding. I don't think they're going to get this off. 6 seconds. They're going to have to rush it. 3 seconds on the play clock. And now Tony Sanchez will have to use the timeout.
Yep. You know, and I think in that last series where you bring Nunez in and you end up running the ball there, that's a lot of, hey, watch me, I can kick the ball, I can run the ball. So they fake like if he's going to sweep, hand the ball off to Gans trying to pick up those extra yards, and they just weren't biting.
If New Mexico State does indeed go for it, this will be the first 4th down attempt today. They're 5 for 13 for the year. 4th and 7. Let's see if Tony Sanchez will go for it on the other side. 4-receiver look. Washington, the running back. Parker Awad on 4th and 7. Has a man, and it is bobbled and incomplete. High throw. Donovan Fipel just inside that right hash was open. High throw had him leaping. Broken up, and UTEP will take over on downs.
So no play action, just go back there, put your best receivers out there. It looked like Fipel his timing of his jump was off a little bit, but it hits him in both hands. I think the rule is if it hits both hands, you got to catch the ball. We need that first down.
So P.J. Johnson almost had a long catch. Jerry Lydiot almost had a long catch, and then Fipel almost had a first down catch here. But all 3 go incomplete.
That one hurt.
UTEP will take over. They can tie or take a lead here midway through this 3rd quarter. Hand off to Jackson, running up the middle, gets to the 3rd level, gets to midfield before he's finally tackled. And now those explosion plays defensively for New Mexico State starting to creep up as Jackson runs for 20 and the Miners go with tempo. Locklear will keep it, and Alpiu gets him from behind. Fooled nobody right there on that first down run.
It's a good thing he did because he broke containment. There was no containment there. Last play, we talked about tackling. It was one of the keys. Coaches were saying we got to tackle better, we got to tackle better. That was a prime example of not tackling. So if if the running backs are not being tackled, they're just going to keep going. So you have to put a little effort behind that.
Locklear has run for 49 yards today. For much of that first half, he was better running than he was throwing for that first half. Jackson slips out of one tackle, can't slip out of his second. Another tackle for Sone Alpiu, the linebacker from Long Beach.
Alpiu's everywhere. That's good side-to-side motion. Love linebackers that are able to go sideline to sideline. You need that from them. Big third down right here.
Gabe Jones, Malaki Tase, Cale Edwards, the three men on the Aggie defensive line on 3rd and 7. Play action fake. Locklear with time to throw, fires, caught. An initial juggle there by Cam Thomas, who had the long catch earlier, and he's been an X factor in his return to the lineup today for UTEP.
Yeah, I think if you're not getting to the quarterback, that's there all day long if you sit in zone and not play man on that.
13-yard connection, Locklear to Thomas for a UTEP first down. Locklear looking for the end zone, and he connects with Kenny Odom. 31 yards away, UTEP takes their second lead of the day.
You know, a few games ago we talked about turnovers and talk about how if you can't get a turnover, a pick like we did against Middle Tennessee, in this case, you have to be able to then play a little defense. In this case, we're not playing a little defense in the secondary. We're not there. There's a little fake, but not much. And he gets behind us so easy, that just makes it hard. That's Keontae Clinton on the coverage there, and we just can't give those up.
At one point, New Mexico State had scored 24 unanswered. And now the UTEP Miners have responded with 21 unanswered here at Aggie Memorial Stadium on a 31-yard touchdown catch for Oda. And Locklear put it right on the money. He's had a couple balls today, Danny, where he's had good throws on the deep ball, and the UTEP receivers just haven't been able to catch it. With that one in stride to Odom.
Yep.
Who played with Locklear at Austin Peay most recently.
And when you get behind, someone gets behind you, you just got to make a pass that's deep and up and let him run underneath it, and certainly he did that there. No pressure on there. We had a three-man rush up front, so he had lots of time to sit back there, and we're in zone, kind of a deep zone, and they just get behind us, and we just can't let that happen because they will pick up a touchdown.
A 24-7 Aggie lead has evaporated with 5:45 left in the third. And at some point, this Aggie offense has to find any sort of a rhythm like they had in the first quarter plus. Touch back into the end zone. We've seen a little bit of Brandon Nunez, not much. It's mainly been Parker Awad here today. And after a start in which he went 8 for 14, he is now 11 for 29 through the air. And we haven't seen McGowan in a while, so we've seen a lot of Tim Gans. The Aggies having to go deeper into their depth chart at running back. And when you don't have McGowan, you don't have one of the best players in Conference USA. Now McGowan does have his helmet on. He was on the sideline earlier without his helmet on. So if you're an Aggie fan, hopefully he can return. Washington trying to bounce it to the perimeter, and he is drugged down from behind. A nice tackle there by the free safety, Oscar Moore. The running game was good early for New Mexico State, but now the passing game hasn't been as good, which in turn has hurt the running game.
Yeah, this is where that last play is just Pete trying to get kind of come out and block the guy in so he can get the end, and he was not able to get all the way around and get a short gain.
Aggie offense a little more predictable now without that running game and that passing game in sync. Catch made. TJ Pride will tumble to midfield, so a nice completion to Pride. TJ's had such a good year. That's a 25-yard pickup, much needed for Tony Sanchez's offense.
Now we're going to go a little tempo. The last play, we rolled Parker out of the pocket, so he's able to see a little bit more down the field. Lots of pressure.
And off to Washington. He's trying to change directions after a stiff arm. UTEP is sniffing out the run right now. That's a loss of 3 for Mike Washington.
Yeah, I've noticed that when we go try to do a quick tempo, this has happened a couple times now, they come to the line of scrimmage and they stack the line of scrimmage because usually it's a run play for us. It's something that's going to be quick, get the ball to Washington, see if we can break it or McGowan. In those cases, they stack the line of scrimmage and there's nothing to be had.
That's the 5th tackle for loss here today for the UTEP defense. We are told now that McGowan has a lower body injury, doubtful to return, and Montano is out for the rest of the game. So that is not good news for this Aggie offense. There's McGowan right there. So he is doubtful to return, and Montano out the rest of the game. Just not the same. You could tell on those 2 tries that was not the Abraham Montano we've seen all year. That's one of your best weapons, too, having Montano's deep leg, and now I would assume Carson Zilmer would attempt the field goals. Play action fake. Awad escapes, throws underneath, caught by Parks. Only the 2nd catch this year for the redshirt freshman from Kansas City, Kansas. Both catches coming in the previous 2 games.
Again, another time that Parker is able to get back there and scramble a little bit. Little play action in there. Someone waiting for him. He can't get to the outside. He scrambles up, dumps the ball straight up the gut.
Parks had a 38-yard catch a week ago, and that one goes for 20. Screen pass to the outside. Tim Gans, the running back at wide receiver. And Gans is up near the sticks. Looks like he gets 9.5, just shy of the first down marker. Second down and a half yard for the Aggie offense. A heavy dose of Gans with the injury to McGowan. Gans on the carry. A first down for the native of Missouri City, Texas. When called upon, Danny has had good moments in his career.
And that's all about the offensive line right there. So defensive line knew they were coming. They stacked the line of scrimmage. Everyone's up. All you need is a little crease in there that Gans can get into, and he did and picked up that first down. That's a great job blocking, a great job of running as well.
Gans runs for 6, clock moving, just over 3 left here in the 3rd. Aggies led by as many as 17. Miners now lead by 4 late in the 3rd. Gans goes off, Washington in. 3 wide receiver look, Pride in motion. And a flag comes in as the play is blown dead.
False start. Offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Penalty number 6 on the Aggies comes on A.J. Vaipulu, the 3-year starter, making his 37th consecutive start.
Yeah, that's too bad. These are timely penalties that you have right there. So there you see the little flinch right there, number 51 right in the middle. It's going to be a little toss sweep out to Washington. Now you got to go back 5 and do it again.
Washington will motion to the right hip of the quarterback, Parker Awad, who bullies his way ahead for a couple of extra yards. Tough running again for Mike Washington to the 16-yard line, 7-yard pickup. And now Washington is hovering right around 100 yards. He unofficially has 98 on the ground today.
You know, now that Seth's out, I never realized what a great 1-2 punch it was with Seth and Washington. Now it's just been all Washington. And he's doing a great job in there too. The offensive line is doing a great job as well. But man, Seth was really a help for sure.
Brandon Nunez now the quarterback. Second down, 8 yards to go, empty backfield. Jet sweep handoff to Washington. Bounces off a defender. Face mask might have been grabbed. No flag though. No gain on the play for Washington, but it could have been a loss.
You know, I just don't think they respect Nunez when he gets in there. They just know that he's not going to run the ball. If he does, they're not too worried about it. Throwing the ball, no concern. I think they're in the box. They're stacking the box. If you wanted to take a shot, if you're the Ags, I think you lead Nunez in and you throw the ball.
Quarterback carousel continues. Quarterback now, Parker Awad. Pride in motion, running back Washington. 3rd and 7. Heavy rush for UTEP, and a pass is thrown incomplete. Cordell David hadn't yet turned around. Might have been open on the comeback route, but he hadn't come back yet.
Yeah, I think this was a little back shoulder comeback route in there, and then he just throws to a spot, and Cordell just had not turned and driven back to that spot, and it just looks off kilter. Just doesn't look like it's any rhythm there at all.
As we mentioned, Antonio unavailable. Carson Zilmer with the field goal attempt. And it's no good. And like we said, it's a weapon that you normally have, Abraham Antonio, that you don't have right now because of injury. So the Aggies miss another field goal. Their third miss. UTEP still in front by 4.
Last two have really hurt.
Hand off to Jackson. And Jackson runs for a half-yard on first down. Tackle made by Matt Lawson. The defense could use a takeaway here. That would certainly help.
Yeah, for sure. That can always give you a spark, right?
It was a UTEP turnover on an interception by Chapman. That's the turnover that New Mexico State was able to force after they had turned it over moments prior. Now Jackson is lined up at wide receiver. Empty backfield for UTEP. A low snap to Locklear, being chased by Buda Paletti, almost intercepted. Skying high was DeMarcus Crosby.
You almost called it, Adam. That was good right there. Lots of pressure. You're not going to let Skylar just sit back there, just like they're not going to let our quarterback sit as well. So put pressure on him, and with the pressure, you affect the way he's going to throw the ball. He's to sidearm that thing over top. Almost gets a pick on that.
3rd and 10 for UTEP. Only 14 seconds left here in the third. And this quarter has been dominated by the Miners. Another pretty low snap handled by Locklear. Noah Arinze drops in. The Kirkwood, Missouri native gets to the quarterback. His 2.5 sack this year.
You know, sometimes you can just get the ball up over your defensive lineman that's putting pressure on you, but Noah is 6'6". So when 6'6" comes in, his hands go up. He's at, 7-something, and it's just not practical to get the ball over top.
Big sack for Arinze. Played his high school football at Webster Groves. Near weakness today with the injury suffered early on to Abraham Montaño. UTEP, which has struggled on special teams this year, will have to punt from the end zone. And Adam Jacklin will get it away to TJ Pride, who calls for a fair catch right around midfield. So now New Mexico State on offense will try to take advantage of this great field position. And the offense has been sputtering for a long time. In this half alone, Danny, it's been a missed field goal, turnover earned downs, and a missed field goal on these 3 drives in half 2.
And and the offense just didn't look like it had the rhythm. We missed some passes too, that balls, I think some of those should have been caught, but the rhythm just from the first half to the second half isn't there. But now they start midfield, good field position to start. You got to pick up points here.
Seth McGowan doubtful to return. 2 running back look with Washington and Gans. Smith in motion. Handoff goes to Washington. And he gets over that 100-yard milestone on that run right there. He was at 99 before the carry. Gets 5 to reach 104 for the day, and it's been a big workload. 21 carries for the transfer from Buffalo. Aggies haven't scored since early on in the second quarter. Heavy rush again. They come to Awad, and he throws it low. Washington's going to grab it. Never heard a whistle. It will be an incomplete pass for Parker Awad.
I think they continue with pressure. They're going to mix where the pressure's coming from. This is a corner blitz coming at you, and they'll do safety blitzes. They'll do corner blitzes. They'll be blitzing from a lot of different locations. You see at the bottom of the screen right here. It's a quick blitz. Can't even get the ball out because you're not even turned halfway. Washington couldn't get around to get the pass.
There's Corey Chapman, the spur linebacker, if you will, for UTEP, rushing the passer. 3rd and 5 for New Mexico State. Awad 14 of 34 today, and he is dropped again by Duhan. It is Duhan's second sack today. And this UTEP D-line continues to be outstanding. 5 sacks for UTEP here today.
So let's see, he's got some time there. He steps up in the pocket. You can see he's got one receiver right there who is covered, but he had no time to really get rid of the ball. He just had to eat it.
So the Aggies can't do anything with that field position. Now Eberle will punt. Eberle gets it away. He's had a good senior year. And it is returnable for Thomas. A lot of running room for Thomas. Eberle can't get to him. Session trying to chase him. Thomas is gone for the Miners. Cam Thomas hadn't played in over a month. He has made a huge impact today.
Well, it's part of the game. You have the three parts of the game, right? You have the special teams is one of the pieces, one of the 3 pieces, and if you don't play, if you don't cover, this is what can happen right there. I think you see Coach Sanchez right there talking about who's going to fill what areas there. You have everyone that has a lane. You have to stay in your lane right there, and we just kind of create this little gap, and they find it and exploit it.
93-yard punt return touchdown for Cam Thomas. Point after is good for the Miners. And this run continues for UTEP. Thomas's last game before today was October 22nd at La Tech. And the transfer from Austin Peay has had a monster return here in the Battle of I-10. Miners go up 11 early on here in the 4th. Here with back-to-back wins. And this is a disastrous play here for McMillan. He has to run it out because he touched the ball. It did seem like it was going to go inside the pylon and not go out of bounds, but McMillan should have let that go for the touchback there, Danny. And now New Mexico State is pulled back a little further.
Yeah, I think when it rains it pours, it's everything all at once, right? So, but here you are. You have 13-20 left. Offensive. Here's the kick right here. We see it. And what he's looking at, will it get in the end zone or will it go out of bounds at the 1? So he chose to pick it up.
13:20 left. Flag comes in. Gary Dickerson, a referee's been extra busy today, and UTEP knows this one's our New Mexico State.
First down.
Aggies have not been in sync in this half especially. There's been a couple of false start penalties. That is called on Parks, the tight end. There's plenty of time left. If you can find a way to get a touchdown here, I mean, you have plenty of time left here in the 4th quarter.
I totally agree, but you have to put something together offensively and create the drive that you can put points on the board.
Jet sweep handoff to P.J. Johnson. He cannot bounce it to the outside. He lost the football, and it's picked up for a touchdown for the Miners. That was Thompson, the defensive end, his second scoop and score today. P.J. Johnson lost the football. Houston native Brighton Thompson scores his second defensive touchdown today.
So here's the reverse, little jet sweep coming around here. You see PJ with the ball. He's got his left hand there, and it just pops out. I'm not even sure anyone hit it.
That was forced by Trey Dunson, the Sam linebacker, transfer from Gardner-Webb. And Thompson scores his second touchdown of the day. He started the UTEP scoring earlier in the 1st quarter. His scoop and score of 33 yards made it 7-0 Miners. This one is a 5-yard scoop and score. And this one has turned into an unbelievable UTEP comeback, and now they lead 42-24. This was the first scoop and score for Thompson. Westmoreland forced the fumble that time. And then this time it was Dunson forcing it. And Thompson running it back in again. How many times does a defensive player find a touchdown twice in the same game. That is extremely rare, especially for a lineman. Scotty Walden has to feel about as good as you can feel if you're the UTEP head coach in his first year, his first battle of I-10. Give a lot of credit to him and his team. I mean, this has been a resilient effort. This could have gone really, really poorly for UTEP when they trailed 24-7, but they stuck with the process. They were down 10 at the break, and they have dominated half two. And this time McMillan will let it sail over his head.
Well, what got to be a difficult task became a huge difficult task now.
And now you have to throw the football, right,
I think
Danny?
you got to throw it around. If you want to get a shot for it, here it is here. We'll take one more look at it. Just sweep trying to get outside, get the corner. Couldn't get it. And a scoop and score.
Thompson, a redshirt senior, finishing off his collegiate career on a high note today with 2 scoop and scores. New Mexico State will go to the ground to Mike Washington, who gains only 1 yard. There is 13 minutes left, but now you trail by 18 if you're New Mexico State. And instead of a 2-possession game, it is now a 3-possession game. And once again, the Aggie offense has not scored since early on in the second quarter. Awad's pass is hauled in by TJ Pride. He only picks up 1 yard. And a lot of the credit, too, goes to this UTEP defense. Their offense has had good moments today, but their defense really stuck with the process.
They've been ball hawking. They've been everywhere the ball is out there on that receiver immediately. In that case, it was another quick toss to the outside, see if we can get some extra yards, which has been quite well. We did good with it, but in this case, they've all over those plays.
Player down right now for UTEP. That will stop the clock with 12:29 remaining. Looks like a player just cramping out there. Temperature has dipped down into the upper 50s, 58 degrees right now here at Aggie Memorial. Good to have you with us. 42-24 the score. This rivalry has seen a lot of interesting games, and I think this one might be up there. It was 24-7 New Mexico State, and now it's 42-24 UTEP. I mean, at one point, if you're a New Mexico State fan, you feel like this could be a blowout win today.
Yeah, at one point in the first half, we really had it going. The offense was clicking. Everything they did was good. They had the run, they had the pass. It was all working. Kicked a 59-yard field goal. All was working. And then near the end of the first half, everything kind of turned just a bit. Missed a 58-yarder. Maybe that started it. Came out. We were in good position, right?
Yeah.
Going to put some points on the board. First position of the half. Didn't work out. Missed our second. And then from there, the wheels just fell off.
3rd and 8. Awad 15 of 35. He was 8 for 14 early on in the game, right around when the Aggies led 24-7. Pocket collapsing. Awad completes the pass for a first down to TJ Pride, his team best 5th catch today. And you can really point to that second quarter when New Mexico State had chances to extend their lead and potentially kind of put the Miners away before the break, and they could not do so. Awad under pressure, and he is dropped again. Thompson was around the ball. So was nose tackle Siani Tongowiha, senior out of Tempe in his 5th year with the Miners.
There's not much you can do there, right? So if you get the pocket that just collapsed, you just got to eat the ball and take it. I think you have to try to get him out of the pocket just a little bit.
Awad will hand it off on 2nd down to Mike Washington. Nowhere to go there for Washington. UTEP with 6 sacks today. New Mexico State only has 1, and we knew going in, Danny, this was the MO for UTEP. They get after the quarterback. They get in the backfield. They lead Conference USA in sacks and also tackles for loss. And that's been a big part of their game here today.
Yeah, especially after the first quarter, they really turned it up and lots of pressure from all kinds of different angles.
3rd down for the Aggies. Behind the sticks on 3rd and 12. Awad throws it near side, incomplete. P.J. Johnson looking for a flag, and he'll get it. This will be our cornerback, Josiah Allen, the senior out of Elk Grove in California. He does not like the call.
I think Parker had to deliver that ball too, because that was a safety blitz they dialed up. So
pass interference, defense.
You'll see the blitz come right up the middle there. He has to release it faster than he wanted.
So that pass interference call on Allen will help out the Aggie offense. You can see a lot of frustration right now on that face. Tony Sanchez. Aggies were in a great spot, up 24-7. It has spiraled since. Trying to make this a game late. Awad fakes the jet sweep, runs straight ahead. A helmet flies off for the Miners. And Awad will creep into Miner territory to the 49. A 3-yard run for the Aggie quarterback. Jarique Lowe will come in at wide receiver for the Aggies. I believe this is his first action today. Comes in for Cordell David. Total offense, the Aggies over 400, right now at 408. But unable to get points since early on in quarter 2. Awad looking near side for Donovan Fappel. Great coverage there by the Miners. Covered well by Jalen Shelton, the transfer from Texas State.
You know what's interesting is you end up with 400+ yards in offense, and you're down by such a huge amount. That's incredible. That kind of shows you where the points are, right? The points are from different pieces. You know, the scoop and scores, those kill. The punt returns, those kill.
Look at the difference there in total yards. And some points have certainly been left out there with the 3 missed field goals in a row. 3rd and 7 for the Aggie offense. Washington, the running back. More pressure from UTEP. Awad rolls, he throws. Washington catches at midfield, but has nowhere to go for only a 1-yard pickup. And now you're in a situation, if you're in New Mexico State, where you have to go for it here at midfield.
Got to leave him out there. We're going to roll out of the pocket a little bit, try to dump it out to Washington, but I think they've seen the backs out of the backfield. They were waiting on that, and he just couldn't do anything with it.
Washington lost a couple. Awad on 4th and 9 as the clock approaches 10 minutes left. Empty backfield. Awad throws on the move, and it's incomplete. He had Lowe streaking at the 10-yard line, uncovered. But Lowe could not get to it, and the Aggies turn it over on downs. And I don't think Lowe was the one that Awad was looking for, but Lowe turned out to be the closest receiver to the pass by Awad.
Yeah, I don't think there was much he could do with that. I think he was trying to wait, but they were dialing pressure up. They're not going to let him. I think they've sensed that if you just sit back, it's not going to work, and they've gone to get him from the 2nd quarter on.
9:58 left here in the 4th. UTEP in front, 42-24 here in the season finale. UTEP has scored 35 unanswered, and with 9:58 left here in the 4th quarter, the Miners have the football, trying to finish the season with a win, trying to finish the season with their 3rd overall win this year as well. All 3 would be Conference USA wins in year 1 for Scotty Walden. This game has had it all today. A 93-yard punt return touchdown for the Miners. 2 scoop and scores from the same player for UTEP as well. And now the Miners will try to choose some clock with under 10 left, up 18. Skylar Locklear has really bounced back nicely after a slow start to the game. Miners will run the football with Jackson. Maneuvers around Lawson. Dylan Early gets to him. And there's no gain on the play for UTEP. UTEP has only run for 100 yards today on 25 carries. They've had some big plays in the passing game with Locklear, but they found a way to score in other ways with a couple of defensive touchdowns and a special team score as well, Danny.
Yeah, and I think now they're just in a point where let's just chew the clock. Take your time, run the ball, let the clock go. It's in our favor. They got 3 scores to get to, so take your time.
And this is what Tony Sanchez has been begging for all year, is Give me some defensive touchdowns, some defensive points, or a special teams touchdown. Really hasn't been able to get it. Catch is made there by Thomas. Thomas had the return touchdown earlier. Also 3 catches for Thomas receiving today. Third down for the Miners. Aggies trying to get the football back. Play action fake to Jackson. Beatles chasing Locklear, who completes the pass to Thomas. A nice tackle made by Keontae Glinton, playing his final collegiate game today. And it brings up a 4th down for UTEP.
Well, that's good defense there. That's staying in the zone. Schuyler's back there, flushed out of the pocket, had to try to get to someone, catch the ball, let him catch it in front of you, come up quickly before the sticks to stop the first down.
Miners today 0 for 2 on 4th down. This is 4th and 2, single coverage, incomplete. Intended for Goodman, and it was broken up by Hobbs. Were you surprised UTEP just went for it, Danny, on 4th and 2?
I am. I really am. I thought for sure they would just get the ball away, but they have a long lead, so.
UTEP turned it over twice earlier on 4th down. It was 4th and 1 on both times earlier. That was 4th and 2, defended well by Hobbs. And now, we've said this a lot, can the Aggie offense find any sort of a rhythm? Awad in the first half was 9 for 21 for 164. The bulk of that came in the first quarter. In this half, he is 8 for 18 for just 95 yards. Right back to the ground to Mike Washington. And I think it's pretty easy to see and safe to say that in the front line, UTEP has dominated today. The Aggie offensive line has struggled with the pressure.
They've struggled trying to find the blitzers, and that's created a problem. So I've seen many times the coaches were.
Awad pulls it, has some running room inside the 40, cuts back, almost gets a block by Cordell David. I think David got twisted around a little bit, so Awad is stopped at the 30.
I guess one of the things that I've really appreciated this game is that Parker's wheels. He's put some miles on those things today. Fake the give, keep, but not only that, he's going to cut it against the grain back and try to pick up some extra yards.
Injured player on the defensive line for UTEP will stop the clock. It's Ashton Coker, a freshman out of Katy, Texas. And this is what you want to see. You want to see no quit in your team, because this is the regular season finale. It's right. The finale overall. But on the flip side, this one means so much to the fans, the alumni, the boosters, you name it. This game isn't like any other regular season game, and you want to fight until the very end, no matter the final result.
Yeah, and I think what I was saying earlier is that it's the blitz, it's the little twist and the little people coming in from different directions that our offensive line have not just been able to pick up, and it's just putting too much pressure on Parker and can't do anything with the ball.
Isaiah Ruddison, who's from El Paso, the running back, they fake the toss to Ruddison. Awad has tons of time, and it's hauled in for a touchdown.
There you go.
Nice grab by P.J. Johnson, who stuck with it. He got hit in the end zone. He holds on. And New Mexico State has a little bit of life with 7 and change left here in the 4th.
You know, that's very tough right there. A little post pattern in there, in between 3 defenders, and he's able to thread the ball in there, and he makes a catch. Great job.
And down 12 right now, New Mexico State will go for 2. This to make it a 10-point game. Running back is Washington. Pride in motion. Awad rolling right. Throws it, had a man, incomplete.
Waited too long. Oh, there's a penalty.
Jordan Smith was the intended receiver. Penalty flag comes in right around the 13-yard line.
He was there. He was in the back of the end zone, and he was waving and waving, and we all saw it, so he just got to it too late.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 6. Penalties half the distance to goal. Replay the try.
Wow, roughing the passer on Chapman, who's had a couple of big penalties today, also had an interception earlier and then fumbled on the interception.
And there he is in the back of the end zone. You see it right to the middle of the screen. He was waving his arms, but by the time he saw it and got the ball to him, it was too late. Someone came to it.
So now you're a little bit closer. An I formation look. The fullback is Naki Fahina, defensive lineman. UTEP will use a timeout.
UTEP.
And I would be surprised if New Mexico State changes this formation look at all. That's an I formation look with Fahina lined up, dotting that I in the middle.
Look at this touchdown here. Lots of time. Look how much time he has in the backfield. And every time this game that he's had that much time, he's completed the ball. It's when they blitzed him that he wasn't able to sit in the pocket, that he couldn't get the ball off. That last pass, he had lots of time in there, lots of composure, and he threaded the ball. There were 3 defenders in there, and he was able to thread the ball between them for that touchdown. That was a good catch right there. Big throw, too.
There's a couple of notes here. Even if you make this a 10-point game, then you're a touchdown and a field goal away from tying the game. But what you miss is your normal field goal kicker, who might be the best in Conference USA. So New Mexico State, if they convert here, would be within 10, but you don't have your starting kicker. You're in the final 7+. Same formation, I formation, deep back, Washington. Fullback is the 300-pounder Fahina. Washington trying to pull in. Flags come in the end zone. Did he get in? No signal yet. And it could also depend on the flag. Still no signal for the line judge.
I think one of them was signaling procedure. I think we may have moved. I'm not sure.
Officials trying to sort it out. Both teams talking to the officials as they sort it out.
Where did he mark it, though? Did he cross? Did he get into the goal line? I think
thought
they
he
marked
was
him
short. One referee signaled no good.
The result of the play is the try is no good. We also had illegal substitution. Defense, 12 players on the field at the snap. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. Replay the try.
Hey, yo.
Danny, they just keep on inching closer and closer. And with Naki Fahina leading the way, you feel good if you're an Aggie fan. Couple penalties, half the distance to the goal in this 2-point attempt.
The previous play is under review.
And now the officials will look at it. And they would be looking to see if New Mexico State actually scored on that. And then you can decline the penalty and the 2-point conversion try would be good. Correct, Danny?
Yep. And following Fahina, man, there's a lot of beef there, man. He's a hoss. Certainly that's the play. But, man, you got to get across that goal line. You got to break the plane at least, right?
And this is something New Mexico State has been doing the last couple of weeks in certain packages, is using Naki Fahina at that fullback position. And you love the fact that Naki is willing to do this, play both sides of the football. He's a football player. He wants to play football. And whatever you ask number 6 in black to do, he's going to do it. In the last couple of weeks, he's been used in some personnel packages on offense.
I like it. That 6', 300 lead blocker, he's tough right there. Look at the push the defensive line has, though. That's the problem, right? So they got a little push in there, and it stands him up, and that's what. But it looks like from the other angle, from the last shot, it did look like he got across. Hard to tell, though.
A lot of time to figure out if New Mexico State can get 2 more points on the scoreboard. But these are crucial points if New Mexico State can find a way to come back in this game.
After review, the 2-point try is good. The illegal substitution penalty will be declined. New Mexico State will now kick off.
All right, so you're right.
There you go.
Officials checked on it and adds some points on the scoreboard, 42-32. First points for New Mexico State since early on in the second quarter on that touchdown catch for Johnson, the 2-point conversion on the run for Washington with Fahina leading the way. And this one is not done yet. 7:22 left. New Mexico State with a couple of timeouts. Get a quick stop here, who knows? But we have to repeat, New Mexico State does not have their normal kicker, Abraham Montaño, who booted a 59-yarder earlier in the game, a new school record. Carson Zillmer will kick off. And everything was started, too, by the previous drive by the Aggie defense. At least giving New Mexico State a shot here in the fourth quarter. Thomas is backing up. He was right around the 15-yard line where he started. It will be a touchback. And now the New Mexico State defense will try to do what they did on the previous drive and get the ball back to Parker Awad, and then who knows? I mean, this game has had a couple of different lives to it, if you will.
It has, and all the things that have happened, it's still a 10-point game. That's incredible. But it's going to start with the defense, right? So how many times have we said that? It's got to start with the defense. You got to have a stop right here. Get the ball back to the offense. Got to score twice.
New Mexico State once led by 17. Miners led moments ago by 18. Locklear the handoff. Jackson the run. He gets to the third level, and he's wrapped up by Sone Alpiu. And now the running game is hoping for a strong finish for UTEP. Pickup of 13 for Jackson, the transfer from Austin Peay. The running back room a little bit depleted because of injuries for UTEP, so Jackson's been the workhorse again today. This time he runs right. Another good run for Jackson. Gets away from a couple of tacklers. Up near another first down.
Yeah, and as he clicks off those yards, the clock just keeps going as well. You need to have a good stance on that defensive line. He's got to stand up, get your linebackers in there, fill a gap, and just put your heels in right now. You can see it right here. There's a big hole. Look at the gaping hole in there.
Jackson with 87 rushing yards per game in the previous 5 games coming in. He is just below 80 yards today. 79 unofficially. 17 carries. Just under 5 per rush for Jackson. Locklear goes right back to him. Tyler Martinez got a hand to slow him down, and then Buda Paletti finishes him off. But it was Martinez who got to him first.
And that was a great job right there. I watched the last play, and they put a hat on Tyler Martinez on that previous play, and they got a little shoving match in there. And it's good to see that he got back in, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to take that, man. I'm going to go get it. So little blitz called in there, got in the backfield and blew the play up before it had anywhere to go. Great job by Tyler.
Loss of a yard, so it's 3rd and 3. Miners need the 48. Tight end in motion. RPO for Locklear. He's going to run for it, and Locklear looks like he's going to finish shy. Yep, by maybe 1.5 yards of the yardage needed. Now Scotty Walden's gone for it on 4th down 3 times today. This would be a major gamble with a 10-point lead. Clock moving, just over 5 minutes left.
I think he's leaving that offense out there. I think he's going to go for it. Are they calling him back now? They're calling him back.
We were surprised he went for it on 4th down in the previous drive.
And a big pass with that as well.
Well, we had a 93-yard punt return touchdown earlier for the Miners. Could TJ Pride answer and really put this game upside down? Punt from Jacqueline will not be returnable for Pride. Can UTEP down it? They can. All the way back at the 1. Perfect placement for Jacqueline. UTEP has sputtered on special teams this year, and they've been much better today. So now you have to go 99 yards to make it a 1-possession game.
And when you put your punt returner back there, the whole idea is you put him back on the 10 or somewhere there and say, look, if the ball comes to you, you get the ball before it gets anything beyond that. This last time, it kind of bounced around a little bit. It's very tough, but you almost have to try to grab the ball and stop it so it doesn't roll to the 1 where they down it.
Some crazy things have happened today. The Aggies pinned deep back at the 1. They need some breathing room with Washington. Awad under center. Can the Aggies get some push up front? Awad just trying to get out of his own end zone. He runs for a half yard up near the 2. Gives himself a little bit more breathing room with 4:20 left. The clock is not the friend of New Mexico State right now here late in the 4th. This is a scary thought for New Mexico State with this rush of UTEP. Washington will push ahead for a yard. So now 3rd down with under 4 minutes left.
Yeah, it's really hard for play calling. When you're on the 1, you try to get out of there, get yourself some breathing room like you said, but then the second come back with a run and you only pick up a 1, makes it very tough.
We have another player down for UTEP. Been a lot of cramping today for the Miners on defense. Clock stops with 3:50 left. Still trying to see a number. I think that's Tavita Tafuna, number 50, but can't get a definitive look. Yeah, it is. It's Tafuna, the redshirt senior out of East Palo Alto in California. So he will head off with the help of the training staff of the Miners. With 3rd down and 7 coming up.
Yeah, big down, big 3rd and 7 right here.
We've been talking all day about finishing the season. How are you going to finish the season here in the final 350? If you're New Mexico State, even if you don't win this game, you want to finish on a high note where you feel good about the way you finished in the Final 4. And right now, a 3rd and 7 for Parker Awad. It's been a struggle ever since the start of the 2nd quarter.
Lots of pressure up there, lots of guys on the line of scrimmage.
Awad from his end zone, throws, and it's complete. TJ Pride, 1st down for the Aggies.
That's a nice pitch and catch right there to get you out of trouble.
That's catch number 6 for Pride today for 80 yards. One of his better games during his first year collegiately. Awad throws, incomplete. The running back, Mike Washington, the receiver. How about the workload he's had to carry today? 25 carries for Washington, a couple of catches. Without McGowan since the early portion of the game, it's almost been exclusively Washington with Tim Gans kind of sprinkled in at times. I know a lot of guys at running back want that workload though, and Washington is getting that today. 25 carries for 113 for him. Awad will throw on 2nd down. Really good blocking up front by Washington and others. Awad changing directions. Awad trying to slip through. He almost did before he's taken down by Thompson. He found a very small hole, a small crease, and he couldn't wiggle out of it. Thompson's had a whale of a game today with those 2 scoop and scores, and he's walking a little bit gingerly as he heads towards his bench area. Timeout is called with 3rd down coming up. Danny, it's twofold. There's been really good pressure from UTEP in the decision-making for Awad hasn't been as sharp as it was in the first 19 or so minutes of the game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think in this last one right here, he's scrambling. Now, it's easier to see from here, right? But there's someone in the middle of the field that's wide open, and he's standing there waving his arms. But it's hard to get to a point where you can throw the ball when you're trying to scramble for your life. So sometimes it's easier to see, but I think when he got to the sidelines, I think Coach Sanchez had an earful because he was telling him, look, that guy's standing wide open. You have to find him somehow and find a way to get him the ball.
It's a lower body injury for Seth McGowan. McGowan played well early. Had 6 carries for 29 yards, had 3 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown reception, but has not been available in this half. Abraham Antonio, the kicker, also unavailable. Awad on 3rd down, almost throws an interception.
I'm not sure what he saw there, Adam. That was a ball that should have never been thrown. Even if you get it over top there, that was going to be a very difficult catch. And he was just sitting right there on it. He was just waiting on it. And if you look, he's looking at his receiver the whole time. See how he's staring him down right there? That's when a linebacker will get a beat on the ball and get in the line of passing and get up in there. Fourth down, you got to go for it.
Dorian Hopkins, the Michael linebacker, got his hands on it. Has 2 interceptions this year at the linebacker spot. Transfer from Tulsa. 4th and 10. Aggies need it. Catch is made. First down. That was Jordan Smith, his second catch today. So the Aggies are playing with fire, but they're finding a way here with 2:45 left.
And I think now the clock is not your friend. You have to start getting a little tempo with this.
Awad wasn't ready for a snap, still handles it, and then throws it away. The timing just hasn't been there. There's been a couple of false start penalties on the Aggie line. Awad wasn't ready for a snap right there and just had to chuck it away. And you can tell right now that O-line is gassed.
Yep.
I mean, this is a very talented defensive line for UTEP, and they have made it tough all day on the Aggie O-line. Now, they've done that against a lot of teams this year.
Offense number 15. The penalty's a loss of down at the spot of the foul. Second down.
So that will push the Aggies back even further. And they are penalized for the 8th time today. And a loss of down on the play as well. So it's second down. Awad back to throw, throws it across the middle, completes the pass. And it's caught by Jordan Smith. The officials finally blow the play dead. The Aggies get back to the original line of scrimmage and then a couple more. Smith's active on this drive right here offensively. Clock approaching 2 minutes. We'll have the 2-minute timeout here in a moment. Awad rolling left. Awad has tons of space. And he gets up near the 40 with 2:01 remaining. A run of 10 for Parker Awad.
Looks like they're going to get one more play in before the 2-minute stoppage.
And now the officials
Oh, there they go. Guess not.
Bring it down to 2 minutes. So the 2-minute timeout. Aggies trail by 10 with 2 minutes left. Closing out the season here today in the Conference USA Championship game in a couple of weeks in Jacksonville. Awad running. He's used his legs a little bit during this drive, and he runs up towards midfield. 8-yard gain for Parker Awad. And the clock down to 1:45.
Yeah, I think you have to think about that a little bit on those runs.
Aggies need to take a deep shot here. They're going to go underneath. Isaiah Ruddison, the El Paso native, makes the catch. Only his second catch all year. Ruddison, a sophomore from El Paso, and he goes for 16.
First and 10, Aggies.
Ruddison, the running back. Awad taking the snap, looks left, and he throws it out of bounds. Alan Ortiz was the nearest Aggie to it.
Yeah, that was a tough pass right there. Not much you can do there. Get it out of bounds. Still got to be thinking about the clock a little bit. Got 1:22.
A lot of pass attempts today for Awad. 47 pass attempts. He's completed 22 of them. He's thrown for 340. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And the interception was erased on a fumble by Chapman after he intercepted the pass. Offensive line does a good job, and Awad can't connect with TJ Pride. So now it's third down with 1:18 left. Injuries, a big storyline in the game here today for the Aggies. Without McGowan for a good chunk of the game with a lower body injury. Same goes for Montaño, who was injured after the Aggies were celebrating his 59-yard made field goal early on in the game. Came back in but missed a couple. One that he certainly normally makes from 45 yards. Also missed from 58. Miners jumped, it appeared. Flag does come in. Awad completes it to Mike Washington, the running back. And we'll check on the flag here with 1:12 left. This is the 15th combined penalty today between these two squads.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains third down.
So the Aggies can scoot up 5 yards on a third down. Trying to get a late touchdown, then trying to convert an onside kick. Could be within 3. A little bit of time left, not much. Aggies only have 1 timeout to play with. 3rd and 5 for Awad. Westmoreland almost gets to him. Awad can't get rid of it. A couple Miners crunching Awad. That's been the theme today. The 7th Miners sack.
Lots of pressure there, and that's just been their key this whole from late second quarter on. Lots of pressure on Parker, and when that happens, it just crumbles around him. Not much happening.
Timeout has to be used with just over a minute left, 1:04 left. Aggies have to use their final timeout. So Tonga Weha was in on that for UTEP. He's had a good game today, the senior out of Tempe. So you can add to that number for UTEP. They had 28 sacks. Conference USA best entering action today. 7 today gives them 35 for the year. That was top 35 in FBS coming in.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Abraham Antonio, we were told, probably would not be able to return. He's going to return and try to kick this. Right around 51 yards away. And Antonio
of course
missed it, but a flag came in. Another flag. We were told Montaño likely would not return, but he came in trying to bring the Aggies within 7.
Holding, defense, number 10. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, and an automatic first down.
Danny, there's been a number of those today. Penalties on UTEP that gives the Aggies new life. This one gives the Aggies a first down. So wipe away the miss by Montaño. And now the offense can return with a minute left. And in case you're just joining us, this was a 24-7 Aggie lead at one point. 42-32 Miners. Aggies driving, looking for a late touchdown to bring this to a one-possession game. Awad rolling left. Pass might have been deflected right there on the defensive line. It was intended for Ruddison, and it does stop the clock.
Certainly the Miners are sent back, UTEP sent back in his zone, saying, look, we'll just protect the end zone, give them something underneath, clock's in our favor.
Everything came easy for the Aggie offense in the first quarter. Nothing has come easy since. This UTEP defense has really stepped up after a slow start. A lot of explosion plays early, not many since, especially in half 2. Awad throwing right, looking for P.J. Johnson. It's batted away. Good coverage by the Miners. Jalen Shelton slapped it away, and a flag comes in late in the end zone. Dillion Williams was also down there. There's some jawing after the play between Williams and Johnson. It was a late flag, though, there in the end zone.
It was very late.
This has been a stop-and-go finish here in the final couple of minutes. I think Scotty Walden has an issue with how late the flag came in. And the officials discussing, trying to sort it out before we get the call from Garrett Dickerson. To the naked eye, it seemed like good coverage from the Miners.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, forcible contact to the head or neck area of the defenseless player. The previous play is under review.
All right, here's the look on the replay. I think so, yeah. Because it was slapped away by Shelton, and the targeting called on Williams, who then had some words after the play with P.J. Johnson. And every penalty, it seems like today for the Miners, has been a major penalty.
Yeah, it has, and yet they still come away with potentially a win here. But they've had some untimely ones. Lots of penalties, both sides.
So we'll get a booth review here with under a minute left. It's hard to recap this one today. I mean, this has been almost like it's two different games. New Mexico State was in cruise control a little over midway through half one, leading 24-7. They had McGowan healthy at that point. And UTEP has stormed all the way back with a couple of scoop-in scores, a punt return touchdown. Here's the call.
After review, there was no targeting on the play. Forcible contact was to the body of the receiver. Number 4 for UTEP may stay in the game.
Williams can stay in the game, no targeting. It's certainly worth reviewing. And there was a long talk amongst the officials before we got the official word from Garrett Dickerson about the call. Mexico State has 48 seconds to play with. They need to score quickly, try to convert on an onside kick. And then who knows? But they need the touchdown first. Scotty Walden trying to win in the Battle of I-10 in the first time he's been on the sidelines for UTEP in this rivalry. Awad on third down, steps up, flips it back, handled by Washington. Washington still on his feet. It appears it was legal. What a last-second decision there by Parker Awad to flip it as he was being taken down. 17-yard pickup.
Nice wherewithal to know where he is and where Washington was to get him the ball.
Aggies down to the 6, trailing by 10. Awad, tons of time here, has to throw it away out of bounds. Trying to save as much clock as he can, had nobody open. Let's see if Tony Sanchez thinks about bringing in Brandon Nunez here at quarterback. Now, normally Nunez would come in packages in situations like this, and now it looks like Tony Sanchez is going to opt to kick a field goal and then go for the onside. And as long as Montaño makes it, then you have some time to try to tie the game. So a field goal try on second down. Montaño drills this one. Do you like that theory and that thinking there from Tony Sanchez? Get the points now, try the onside kick, and then if you get it, then you know what you need?
I don't. I think I would have went for it and tried to get 7 on the board, right? And then come back and try to get the onside kick. If you pick up the onside kick, there wasn't much time left, so we need some yardage, but at least you can have a shot at a long kick to maybe, tie it up. But this works too. Either way, you have to recover an onside kick either way.
The Aggies have scored 11 in a row after trailing by 18. They have made it a one-possession game. And now, of course, this onside kick upcoming is critical. Montaño will take it. He was unlikely to return. He comes in, kicks a field goal to bring the Aggies within 7, and now he will try the onside kick. This has been a wacky rivalry game here today. A lot of twists and turns.
Number 6 for UTEP is checking into the game.
Let's see if we get one more moment to add to that. Season finale, Battle of I-10. Aggies trying to keep the silver spade and the brass spittoon. They need to recover the onside kick to even have a shot. And UTEP will use a timeout.
Timeout. UTEP.
This has been one that's been up and down.
30-second timeout.
I don't know. Highs and lows, momentum swings back and forth. It's been very interesting. Lots of penalties. Oh my gosh, there's so many penalties.
Danny, you've watched this rivalry for years. Have you seen a game quite like this where one team led by 17 rather early and then the other team stormed back and led by 18 at one point?
No, I haven't, and I haven't seen it to this way either, right? Where you get a punt return, a scoop and score, 2 scoop and scores, right? And it's just like everything just kind of, the pendulum has just been swinging from one side to the other.
Number 6 for UTEP.
UTEP with 3 touchdowns today. Outside of their offense, 2 scoop-in scores from one player from Thompson, the defensive end. And then a punt return touchdown for Thomas. There's the onside kick.
Oh, you get a bounce.
And that goes out of bounds, and Tony Sanchez is the one who handles it. Aggies had a shot there. It just kind of skipped a little bit too high. Nobody could get a hand on it. I think Cordell David might have been the closest Aggie to it. And we get some jawing back and forth after the play. But Montaño could not keep it in play. And now the officials will chat with Tony Sanchez to see how he wants to play this one. I'm sure as far as a runoff and that kind of stuff. So wait the official word from the officials on how Tony's going to play it.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty from where the ball went out of bounds. UTEP first down.
And UTEP can escape this one with a win. Frustrated Tony Sanchez. This one was firmly in the Aggies' grasp at one point, up 24-7.
Even coming in out of the break into the third quarter, there were chances to put some points on the board and just couldn't capitalize on it.
There were chances when it was 24-7 to extend the lead. There was, of course, chances when it was 24-14 to extend the lead. Injuries were part of the game today for New Mexico State. And UTEP will match their win total from a year ago. Both programs will finish the year 3-9, and UTEP can get the silver spade and the brass spittoon back to El Paso. And I think Scotty Walden is trying to get his team to the tunnel. Right now, the bulk of the team is near the end zone area, but this is one of those rivalries that is heated, and I think Scotty did a pretty good job there trying to make sure his team just got back to the locker room. So a lot of penalties today, 16 combined, 8 each. New Mexico State, you won't see this much. 543 yards of total offense in a loss here at home.
So think about that much offense and 2 scoop and scores and a punt return. Change one of those and the whole dynamic of the game changes.
Yeah, the final stats and the score just doesn't make much sense.
No.
I mean, 543 to 298. As far as total yards are concerned, the Aggies passed for 340, but it didn't really feel like it.